Hello and welcome to Power Play. I'm Rick Budd, your game master, and these three, count them three this week, lovely and talented people are Sam DeLev, our Kadrax Eversinger, Omar Najam, our Vion Vigor, and Caitlin Bruder, our Benny Beckett. B Zelda, our Ulez Gali, could not be here. Don't worry about B. They are fine. They will be back next week. It's all just cool planned absence stuff. I want to throw a thanks out to Jake and Lauren and the mods and everybody at QueueTimes. Thank you for doing what you do so that we can do stuff like this. Your subs and your bits help support QueueTimes, and your donations to the tip jar usually help support this show and the people you see on it. That is usually our Feed the Cast fund. But you have probably heard that the governor of the state of Texas, I'm not going to say his name here because fuck that guy, has called on professionals like teachers and doctors to report parents who give their children gender affirming care, which he characterizes as child abuse. To call this draconian, Orwellian, utterly terrifying would be a massive understatement. We're a superhero show. I'm just going to say it is absolutely nothing short of evil, cartoonishly evil. So tonight, 100% of what we raise is going to go to Equality Texas. You can find them at Equality Texas on Twitter or check out their website, equalitytexas.org, to find out more about their mission. Power Play is about a lot of things, but above and beyond all, it is about the power of saving people. And, that is what everything in this show ultimately points to. And now is the time for all of us to support, the people who are trying to save the trans people in Texas who have never been in worse danger than they are now. We have decided to do this on pretty short notice, so this is not one of our big charity extravaganzas with a million rewards and special guests and stuff. We're just going to have the three rewards. We do not expect to clear thousands of dollars like we do in the big marathons, but we would still be super grateful for anything that you can kick in for this life or death cause. I cannot possibly understate the importance or the urgency. So
Our place says
overstate.
trans rights, and so can you.
Couldn't have said that better. Thank you, Sam DeLev. So as usual, our rewards are going to be, if we get to $50, the team gets a point of community determination that they can use in the case of an emergency. If we get to $150, the mysterious benefactor. In game, our team has a mysterious benefactor who manages to get them special gifts wherever they may be in space or time. We know outside the game that mysterious benefactor is you, the chat. So far this season, you have given the team a healing elixir that restores full stamina, a single-use holographic disguise generator, a gym pass that was good for +1 to any physical attribute, and tonight, chat can provide the team with single-use nanotechnology spray-on armor that provides damage resistance 9. One use. Damage resistance 9 for those of us for those of you who don't know, our game is pretty close to being invincible. So that is basically like one good somebody gets to be invincible for a fight armor. And if we get to 200,
you'd literally be invincible. Like, it makes sense to put it on the squishies, but you can just climb inside the sun.
Yeah, I mean, well, the sun would be a close call, but yeah, maybe. If we get to $250, our after credits lore drop, a revealing glimpse of some important but previously unseen part of our story or universe. You can always see our tiers in chat with the command unlocks, and if you can't support by donating, you can always support the show by liking and commenting on our YouTube videos and sharing our tweets and stuff. You can also get Power Play merchandise now. It is for a limited time still at the QueueTimes Teespring store, but we'll be moving very, very soon. Yeah, you can see right there. That is our logo by our good friend Hector Lowe on the stickers. You can get T-shirts with art, Caitlin's character art on it, new or old versions. And that will be in a new store very, very soon. So I'm hoping to have information on that maybe as early as next week. The game we play here is called Icons. It is published by Ad Infinitum Adventures. It was published by a very cool guy named Steve Kenson. Creator, very cool guy named Steve Kenson. You can find him on Twitter at @skenson. The book edition that I have is published by Green Ronin. They were sold out for a while. They might have them back now. I honestly don't know. I think you can get, you're going to get it as a PDF, and you might be able to get print to PDF versions from Ad Infinitum directly. It's a super cool system. Check it out. Follow the show at Power Play RPG on Twitter and Instagram. Power Play is available as a podcast for the podcast inclined. Check it out wherever fine pods are casted. Also, Jake's going to put the link for the Power Play Discord in the chat for you. Go check out the chat, the Discord, where our own Omar Najam is running the Port Ruby Poetry Review. Omar is a freaking great poet. Go check out what he's doing there. And I think in the coming weeks we're going to get some poems by some other people associated with the show.
A few
and
guests. Yeah, that's it. That's the only tease.
A few guests.
A few familiar faces.
Okay. And Omar's also doing supervillain origin stories. We did our last charity game, Supervillains of Port Ruby, and Omar is writing origin stories for every member of the team. So far, we've got 2 of them that you can already read. They're just in there free, and they are freaking amazing. Omar is maybe a better writer than he is a poet. I don't know, maybe a better poet than he is a writer. Very tough to say. But either way, just, check all that stuff out. I think I am being told that we have opened up the first 2 tiers already. So thank you so much, everybody. We are well on our way, and we are super grateful. Remember, every single dollar tonight goes towards protecting trans kids in Texas, where they unfortunately need the protection. And that is the announcements. Time for Power Play. That little technical problems there, but hopefully cleared up now. And it looks like while we were working out those little technical problems, y'all opened up the 3rd goal. So, wow, thank you. That could be record time for us. And it's like, once again, going to remind you, absolutely all money raised tonight goes to Equality Texas. So we are just super grateful. All right, let's do this thing. So previously on Power Play, the necklace that Benny got from Althea the Enlightenist sent Benny back in time to her family farm on November 15th, 2020. But with help from Miranda Vorton, the rest of the team was able to follow her. But they weren't in Bellwood long when another problem cropped up. A man named Archie Sloan showed up at the farm in a panic and claimed that he was being chased by a monster from a local urban legend known as the Crow Man. Benny was familiar with the legend because she and her childhood friend Priya Singh had an interest in weird stuff like that. And indeed, it turns out Archie Sloan was in Bellwood to shoot a documentary about the legend with Priya herself. But much to their surprise, the Crow Man appeared and asked Priya a riddle, and when she couldn't answer, she was turned into a crow. The team struggled to deal with the Crow Man's bad luck powers and eventually with help from Pete Alameda and Eileen Beckett, they were eventually able to solve the riddle, saving Priya Singh, as well as many others who had been turned into crows along with her. In the end, Vian activated the time shifter crystal to bring the team back home, back to the future, to coin a phrase. But instead, they found themselves further back in the past in the long-dead western town of Grave Glen. And that is where we pick up. Just to remind you all, you were standing at the edge of an old western town. There was a wide dirt street framed by 2 rows of wooden buildings, a few horses, a few people wearing 19th century clothes kind of walking around near those buildings. Looks like a scene out of an old cowboy movie. About 20 feet ahead of you, there's a hand-painted wooden sign that says "Welcome to Grave Glen." What do you do?
Was that on purpose?
No, our goal was to get you back to
Okay,
the
cool.
quote unquote present.
Just double checking.
Is this Riften?
No, this is. I realize I'm the only person who would recognize this spot. Hey Doc, welcome to California.
Oh,
California, actually, hold on. What?
that's
And I would
the
turn
other
to-
coast.
I turned to one of the folks. Excuse me. What year is it?
Oh, you're a little bit.
They're far
you're
away.
kind of they're some distance away.
You know what? That's for the best. Because I realize we look the way we look. So I'm gonna quickly cast. I'm gonna cast illusion.
Big magic or little magic?
Little magic because I need to use burst.
Okay. Give me a roll to turn on illusion.
8 plus roll. That's 12 to turn on.
Oh, that'll get it done. Yeah.
And I just want to cast old timey looking clothes on us really quickly.
Yeah, and you do. Everybody gets outfitted in I guess what would be Vion's conception of cowboy gear.
Everyone's got little atoms. Just kidding. Sorry.
My
it's a
white
reference
coat's
to-
like a duster now? That's so dope.
Yes. Yeah, I'm doing as little as necessary to adapt everyone's clothing.
Well, as you look around at what you've done to everybody, you notice that Ulez has not spoke or moved since you have been here.
Hey, Ulez, you all right?
There is no response from Ulez. You can see their lights are on, their eyes open. They have appeared to go into some sort of a standby cycle.
Do any of us know how to run an ULA's diagnostic?
Doc?
I have never interfaced directly with Keeper systems. Surely they are significantly more sophisticated than your own, but I can take a look. I step up, I tap their shoulder, I lean in. Ules?
Nah, there's nothing. They're standing there in their illusory cowboy clothes, big cowboy hat, and nothing.
Actually, here is what I would like to do. As I put my hand on their shoulder one more time, I would like to use my voice to amplify sound to try to hear a little better their internals. Can I hear the fan going on their cooling system? Can I hear their processors running? That would at least tell me that they are baseline functional, perhaps the energy level involved. Are they sort of in sleep mode, or are they well and truly shut down and we need to worry?
Yeah, you are very attuned to things like vibrations and stuff, and yeah, you can pick up that stuff is going on inside.
All right. Well, their systems are mechanically, at least, running.
Okay. Let's. We should probably figure out what's going on with this time travel stuff. We still have that holographic disguise thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do something I think that Ulez would approve of to be safe, and I would like to find just like a shadow behind a building that I look around. I'm tracing the sun. I do my best mental math, and then I turn to someone much smarter than me. Hey, Doc, this is going to be shaded for most of the day, right?
Yes, that mountain there, the hill, will eventually take care of it after it gets past
Okay.
that position.
Okay, great. So I was wrong. and I move Ulas to a different spot. And then I'm going to use the hologram because my images will come down at some point, I'm sure. So holding it forever won't work. I'm going to position Ulez's arm very tenderly, just one sort of up, the other sort of down. Like one is out, and then the other is like down. And then I'm just going to turn them into a cactus.
Oh. Okay, yeah. The holographic disguise generator automatically works. So yeah, Ulez is now hidden as a cactus, very subtly blending into the landscape.
And I whisper just to Ulez, all right, great. We'll come check on you. You're gonna be totally fine. We're just gonna figure out why we got sent here, a place that I think only you know about. So that's probably time to go tell the others. And I turn and walk back.
Okay. So you are probably about, I don't know, 100 yards from, all those stores. Maybe 50 yards from all those stores and people I was telling you about.
Great. So just so both of you know, this is the town that I kind of died in. Different time, different life, and all that.
Are you okay?
I mean, I'm good. I got pulled out of it as a ghost.
Okay, well, okay, yes, yes, emotionally.
Yeah.
Okay.
As of right now, I'm fine. I don't know why the necklace brought us here. Actually, hold on a second. And I just start like bolting into town, yelling for the sheriff.
Okay. As you run up the street, you draw some very curious glances from the handful of people that are around. You pass barbershop, general store, saloon, a dentist office. People are just kind of looking at you. Everyone's kind of, giving you kind of cockeyed look. And and then you see down the street, near the end of the street, the office of the sheriff.
Hey, how's it going? And as I'm passing, hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm down from San Francisco. All right. And I think, depending on the year, Los Angeles, maybe, as I'm like running backwards. I stop and I point to someone outside the dentist office, which I now realize would be horrifying to experience as someone who just had a tooth pulled in modern day. Hey, what year is it? Can you remind me?
Year?
Yeah. What exact year is it?
1871.
Okay, great. So California is a state. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. I just wanted to double check that really quickly. Thank you very much.
You one of them new homesteaders we've been hearing about?
Oh, the gentrifiers out here? No, I promise you, I'm not. My generation's never going to get property. Thank you, though. And I keep running for the sheriff.
Kind of the guy just scratches his head and watches you run away. Yeah, you run to the sheriff's office. What do you do?
Knock on the door. Sheriff.
Well, the door is actually open.
Oh,
you
great.
poke your head in.
Yep.
There's nobody in there.
Damn it. I step back. I go back to the person outside the dentist office. Hey, friend, do you happen to know where the sheriff is?
Sheriff just rode out of town a little while ago. Could be back any minute.
Okay.
I don't rightly know.
Okay.
You need any dental work?
Not today. Not for 100 years, buddy. And I wander back to my friends.
All right.
I think maybe we meet you halfway as we've slowly been following.
I do think we take off after the bolting man. Yes.
Yeah.
And as you all meet up again, let's say in the middle of this wide street, you hear the sound of hoofbeats in the distance, and then over the horizon from the south, two horses riding fast come just up through the town. They're two two riders, rider on each one. They're yelling something as they come down the street, and as they get closer, you can hear them being like, "Get inside, take cover! Everybody, get inside, take cover!" And Vion, as they get close enough, you can instantly recognize one of them as the sheriff, your sheriff, Virgil Wheeler, played by Winston Duke. He is riding out ahead of another man who is played by Victor Garber. They're just calling to everybody that they can see, "Get inside, take cover, get inside." And as they get close to you, Virgil Wheeler slows down and stops his horse, and he looks at the three of you, and he's like, "You three better find cover somewhere."
Sheriff, it's me.
And he kind of just looks you over, and he's like, "Well, that's great, but you should still find cover somewhere, you." And he's like, "Why don't you come with me? This way." And he rides ahead of you a little bit slower now so you can follow, and he rides just up the street and to the left, and he pulls his horse right in front of a saloon, and he dismounts. And then he looks back to you, and he's like, "Come on, you folks better get in here. The dust storm to end all dust storms is coming this way, and it's coming fast."
Yeah, okay. Or inside.
Yeah, and as you're coming off the street, you do start to feel the wind picking up a little bit. And you head into the saloon, and it's one of those saloons. It's got those like swinging cafe doors, you always see in cowboy movies. And you enter, you see a bar. Yeah.
I was say, Benny goes, "We didn't take the tornado with us, did we? That's not something that can happen."
Oh no.
Right? I don't know how any of this works.
Real quick, Sheriff, are you saying a dust storm, like a boob, or are you talking about like a tornado?
Dust storm.
Okay, great. Not a tornado.
Don't get a lot of tornadoes out here in the desert.
All right, fair.
And he leads you in. Vion, you see a bar, some tables, some chairs scattered about, and you immediately know you have been here before. Only when you visited, it was like a broken down old ruin. Yes, this is the saloon where right after your resurrection, 150 years from now, you first got your sheriff's star from the mysterious entity who appeared to you as Sheriff Virgil Wheeler, the entity that you called the sheriff. As he takes you inside, you can start to hear the wind howling like you have never heard as it blows through all the cracks in these wooden buildings. You hear every board in the place creaking and bending. And outside, the dust kicks up, and you can start to see just, tumbleweeds shoot down the streets. The air outside starts filling with dirt. And Virgil Wheeler kind of looks outside, and he's like, "Damn, looks like it's going to be a big one." And as he says that, from somewhere outside, there is a scream. Only this time it is not the wind. And the sheriff runs towards the door. He's like, "God damn it, somebody's out there." And the man the sheriff was riding with, he's like, "You can't go out there, Virgil. It's too dangerous." And Virgil says, "Well, I can't rightly let one of our citizens die in a dust storm. I'm never going to win re-election that way."
Wait, we can probably help, right?
Yeah, don't worry about
I would like to move out the door.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
You head out also?
Yeah, all three of us. Yeah.
Okay, so he kind of
Vian could just walk through the storm, probably just.
Oh yeah. Once I'm out of view of the sheriff.
Well, outside is like a totally different world now. The dust is blowing around in the air. It's so thick you can barely see 2 feet in front of you.
Okay, great. I'm gonna cast let me see what the exact spell is here. If I'm but essentially like weather control, like elemental control.
Elemental control.
Yep.
Wind.
Thank you. That's it. Why? Yeah. I don't know why I have books when I'm friends with Sam. Honestly.
The whole nothing. It's just that that's the one right next to energy control, so I saw it a lot.
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah, element control. And I'm gonna control the air.
All right, you can move and influence that element like telekinesis at your power level. So what are you using, big magic or little magic?
I'm using big magic for this one, so we can still
Okay.
look good.
Give me an element control roll.
Great. This is 8 plus roll to turn on. It's a 10 to turn it on.
Okay, that will work.
And I'll cast this at level 5, even though my magic is level 7. My big magic. Make
All
it
right,
a
now
little
this
bit
works-
easier on myself.
This works like telekinesis, I believe. So the idea is you use your willpower as your telekinetic coordination.
Oh, so it's 5 anyway. Look at me making a big sacrifice following the rules. Okay, this is 5 plus roll. Okay, 8.
8. Okay. It takes a lot of concentration. You draw your rune, you
never really
establish
done
your
this.
powers of air
Yeah.
control, and it's like you are kind of able to move the wind around and control the storm, but this storm is so big and kind of so wild and spreads throughout the whole town that it's like the best you can kind of do is kind of like push it out of your way a little bit so you can kind of move around.
Is the wind like going in one direction, like through the town, or is it just like completely? I don't know how dust storms work. Like, is it completely just like whipping up in all directions? Like,
the wind seems to be blowing. I tell you what, Benny, give me an intellect roll.
oh god, what side of my face is it hitting? All of them, or just the one? Okay, hold on. I always ask for intellect rolls. Okay, that's not bad. That's almost max. That's 8.
The wind is blowing from south to north, but as it passes through the town, and with the buildings and the streets and stuff, it kind of swirls around in a little bit in the streets and up the alleys between the buildings and stuff like that. So it's like mostly it is just being channeled from south to north, but there is a little bit of wildness to it. So in the town itself, the dust kind of just blows around, and it's thick.
Would it be a terrible idea to turn into lava? Because then I can walk us through this, probably.
I mean, no one would see you right now.
I guess that's fair. I'm gonna lava, lava up. I'm gonna do 1 or a. Where am I at now? 8. The rest of it, yes, 8 lava. And I want to use stretch to walk in front of my friends, and stretch just like make myself like a just wide and thin, so that I can touch.
Umbrella, or
yes, yeah, so I can walk in front of them and like be tall and wide, but I don't necessarily need to be like a piece of plywood. That's there you go. That's the
okay. You can do that. That is within your bounds. That's not a stretch roll. I think you need to roll for. So yeah, you do this, and immediately Virgil Wheeler kind of pulls his hat out, and he's sort of just like, well, there is something you do not see every day.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Sheriff. I'm going to drop my element control, and I'm going to cast invisibility on Benny really quickly.
Question, does the illusion not cover her?
Oh, it does.
Oh,
I thought the illusion was like the illusion of clothes, right?
Yeah, because it's on burst. So if I change anything for Benny's illusion, it changes for all of us.
But you're not changing what she looks like. She looks like Benny in clothes.
I was just casting it clothes.
Okay.
So it's just a floating. I don't know what outfit you had, because you had like a very tombstone jacket, right, Sam?
Probably. Oh,
yes.
And I think I had a very Sidney Poitier dandy sort of gambler blue buttoned up rich outfit. And then Benny, what were you wearing? Just so we know what's floating in front of your lava wall.
Something if you're gonna be a little little teen boy, farmhand looking, out on ranch teen. That's what
little lad.
Little lad, little ranch teen.
Little lad.
Yeah.
Ranch teen.
Little ranch teen. Yeah, that's what I want.
Okay, so you have that outfit on, but you are very spread wide as a giant lava umbrella person.
Yeah, it looks like a computer. It looks like a video game glitch. You know, where you're just
Yeah.
like, oh, well, they did not format that correctly.
Clothes are clipping through. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And Benny, you start walking through the storm, and Virgil and Cadrax and Vion follow right on, right behind you. As Vion sort of uses his magic to try and keep the wind from swirling around the back and stuff. And you hear another scream. And someone's like, it sounds like a woman's like, it's like, help, help. And it's coming from somewhere on the street.
May I localize it?
Cadrax, give me a complex task roll.
All right. Let's see. Which of you is not going to betray me? One of you is going to betray me tonight. Is it me? Actually, it is. You have no sense of comedic timing. Let's see. That's 13. No, 14.
That will do very nicely. Yeah, you detect this coming from just to the north of you. Let's say actually from the northwest. You point to Benny, signaling which way to go, and the four of you walk towards that direction. And on the side of the street, you see a woman and her young son hiding behind a horse watering trough. And they're just kind of like ducked down behind it, kind of holding on for dear life as the wind blows. And Virgil is just like, come on, come with us. And he kind of picks her up and pulls her behind Benny. Back. Not that we were ever really gone, since apparently our closed caption was still going up there. But now Omar is laughing his ass off. Welcome back. Thank you for bearing with us. So when we left off before Vion disappeared, you had just saved a person from the middle of the dust storm, and you brought her behind Benny's lava umbrella, and her young son behind the shelter of Benny's lava umbrella. And you start heading back. Virgil's like, this way, and you start heading back towards the saloon. Benny, as you are walking,
Yes.
You think you see about 15 feet away from you. It's a little tough to see with the dust storm. A person on a horse.
Hello? Do you need help?
And you call into the wind, right? Hello, do you need help? And the horse kind of turns to you and slowly starts taking steps towards you. And as it gets closer, you can see, and I will say at this point, as it gets closer, the rest of you notice it too. The horse is a horse, of course. But the rider is a skeleton cowboy wearing decayed shreds of clothes and like a torn up derby. And his head kind of slowly turns towards you, and he looks at you for a moment, but then he spurs the horse and just rides past you towards the south.
Is that normal? I say, or I guess I'd probably have to yell over the wind to the sheriff. Is that normal?
And Virgil just pushes on, pushing. He's like inside.
I'll move off to the side to protect the wind from so everyone gets in the door, and then I'll de-lava and go in afterwards.
And you all get inside, and Virgil's like, no, I have not seen much like that, but frankly, I have my suspicions.
What do you mean, Sheriff?
Well, first, let's start out with the small things. You seem to know who I am. Who are the three of you exactly?
Right. Yeah, about that. I'm a writer from San Francisco. My name
You
is
one of
Via.
them new homesteaders we're waiting for?
Nope, just kind of passing through. Honestly, didn't quite expect to get dropped in today the way we did. So no, not one of the new homesteaders. Sheriff,
Huh.
you really don't know who I am.
Should I?
I would say so, but I've also been told that I have kind of a big ego when it comes to stuff like that. So maybe not yet. But we
Let's start. You got a name?
yeah, yes, sir. Beyond Vigor.
Vion Vigor.
Yeah.
Points to you, Benny. What about you? You got a name?
Benny Beckett. Hi, nice to meet you.
Benny
Your town
Beckett.
is nice.
Well, it has its up points, I suppose. What about you there? You got a name?
Yes, I'm Dr. Caden D'Alto. I'm a surgeon.
Huh. Nice to meet you, Doc. Well, looks like we're gonna be here a while. Anybody want a drink?
If you have any cowboy coffee laying around, I wouldn't say no to that.
Coffee. This ain't the general store. I think they got water, they got beer, they got whiskey.
3 waters, please.
And the saloon keep brings you 3 waters, and you sit down at one of the tables, and Virgil looks at you and he says, "Well, I suspect a cattle rustler named Eli Moran did this. He's
Dust Storm?
abandoned. Yes, sir, the dust storm. But Eli, he's kind of the king of thieves around these parts. Every 2-bit criminal for a 50-mile radius answers to him in one way or another. But lately he's been playing with black magic. And he's good at it too. Evil men always are. And Eli, he's one of those ex-Confederate types, so he's about as evil as they come. Yesterday I arrested his son, Jesse Moran. Damn fool was robbing the bank and doing a terrible job of it. I reckon his daddy ain't too happy about him sitting in my lockup right now. I got a feeling this is a message."
And the man who had no flesh or soft tissue? And was riding on the horse?
I've heard stories of Eli conjuring strange monsters before. I ain't
That
never
is a
seen
skeleton,
one.
sir.
Seemed pretty monstrous to me.
You know you have one inside you, yes?
Yeah, the key is inside me. When they walk around on their own and ride horses, now we're in a different milieu.
Okay, so Sheriff, you're saying that this man is probably cooking up some bad magic to get his son out of prison, is that right?
That would be my guess.
Okay.
Just what I need to worry about right now with all those new homesteaders arriving any day. Dust storms, skeleton cowboys.
I'm sorry, Sheriff. What when you're talking about new homesteaders, folks coming here specifically this town?
Yeah. Coming from out east, I hear.
Real quick, Rick, when I blasted through this ghost town, was it mostly just this main street, or were there also like remains of?
Well, mostly what you saw was mostly just this main street, but by 150 years later, a lot of it is sort of covered in sand, and it's like, remember that pole that you crashed into that killed you, you crashed into because it was buried under the sand. So whether or not there were other structures further out, you may or may not have gathered.
I was sort of distracted, and then I went to Vegas after. Yeah. Okay. great. Well, Sheriff, not exactly sure particularly how we came into town today, but we came here today at this exact moment for, I think, a very particular reason. Possibly to help you on this mission.
Help me.
Yeah, well, we're not particularly unfamiliar with magic itself. Isn't that right, Benny?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Well, you saw what you saw, Sheriff.
I suppose I did. And that was magic, was that?
I mean, I've never thought of it like that, but I guess it's this kind of the same thing.
Our team's not really about labels, but we are adept at these types of conflicts.
I would like to fight the Thief King.
There you go.
We're also really good at that too.
And he kind of sits back and he pushes his hat back on his head. Well, I suppose since I lost my last deputy, I could use the help. And Vion, he notes your pendant. It's like, that's some kind of lawman star?
It's funny that you ask. It's more of a it's actually more of a compass, if anything. It's not a symbol of authority, just someone trying to do some right in the world, I guess. Looking at what was done before and seeing if I could do something a little bit different.
All right, well, as long as you all know what you're getting into.
Yeah. Not exactly unfamiliar territory for us, right, Doc?
Well, this is the other coast, Vion. It is entirely unfamiliar territory to me.
Oh, okay, that's a good point. The Doc's from the East Coast, where the homesteaders are apparently coming from. So,
Where out east?
The other coast.
I do believe it is a mighty big coast.
Yes, that is correct.
You tight-lipped. I admire that. Strong, silent type, eh? And
for the podcast folks, Sam just shook their head silently and strongly.
And the wind outside begins to die down. And Virgil sort of watches it, and he's like, "It's gonna be dark soon. I don't know if there's anything we're going to be able to do tonight, but maybe first thing in the morning we can figure out what our approach to this problem is going to be."
Yeah, Sheriff, our clothes got a little dusty, although they might not seem it right now at the time. They might seem completely untouched because I would have to recast them. Is there maybe an outfitter or something that we could possibly visit?
Yeah, why don't y'all come with me? And he leads you outside, and the dust storm has greatly died down right now. People are starting to come out of their buildings and look around and kind of take stock of what's going on. And he leads you across the street to the general store, and inside where that gentleman that he was riding with before, the guy played by Victor Garber, is standing behind the counters, the storekeep. And Virgil walks in and he says, "Hey, Abner, these people need to try on some clothes." And Abner's like, "Well, I do love a customer." And all right. And now, yeah, we get like a try-on montage. One of those things where you're all like, different kind of cowboy looks, trying on different hats and stuff like that. You test out like vests and jean jackets and boots and hats and all that stuff. Shirts.
Like 80% of my time in Red Dead Redemption 2, I'm just cycling through the outfit options.
100%. This is that sequence. Yes. So real quick, I'm going to ask y'all, starting with Cadrax there. What do you think you settle on? What do you think your cowboy outfit looks like, Cadrax?
Oh no, I haven't gone through all of my RDR2 options.
Well, I hate to put you on the spot, but I'm putting you on the spot.
Right. So I think Cadrax approximates the closest to each element of their outfit, but not in white, in cowboy. So they try to translate as they did in the illusion, but to a different duster. Maybe not a leather duster, maybe like a wool, like a blue wool or something. They have boots that are probably not horse boots. And ooh, can I just have like a nice brocade vest because they're cool. Vests are cool. I like vests.
Absolutely. What
Thank
kind
you.
of hat do you think you have? White hat, black hat, cowboy
Oh,
hat, bowler?
I need a hat? Oh no.
It's cowboy stuff.
Okay. What kind of hat do I need? Either of you can answer. What kind of hat do I need? They're now upset that it's Kate.
Doc, like one to just block the sun from your eyes.
Well, gosh, now I just have the widest brimmed possible because this was the assignment. So
Yeah, you get one of the big wide
it's a
brim
large
cap.
boy. Yep.
Oh, maybe like a sombrero or something, like one of those.
If they have, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Cadrax and a sombrero. This is what I live for. Benny, what do you think you pick?
I don't think Benny's ever worn a dress in her life, and I don't think she's gonna start now. So I think she's gonna find one of maybe like those like more like a women's blouse where they have kind of like the slightly puffed at the shoulder, but like the tiny buttons, and like long sleeved like off-white shirt, but then like higher waisted men's pants with like the high boots, probably belt, maybe also a vest, but not in a buttoned up way, just like a little too big. And then probably just like a round hat. I don't know, probably not cowboy,
like a bowler or something like.
Not like a bowler. Like I don't know what those are called. It's not like a like wide like a sun hat, but the top is flat. I don't know what those are called.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, okay. I don't know what it's called, but I can picture
just like a wide,
easy.
just like a dark wide brim, round like flat top hat, but not like a cowboy hat.
Vion?
I feel like I could apply it. I go up to the store owner and I say, listen, in terms of cash, I'm not exactly sure how this situation is going to play out, but I'll tell you what, if you can make me a very custom order very quickly, I will give you some information of investments. Real quick, I just want to check, how do you feel about like, this is a good litmus test. How do you feel about foreigners?
I do approve of absolutely anybody who is a paying customer.
That's it. Not racist and equal opportunity. Fantastic. I will 100%. I'm going to give you 3 huge economic tips in the history of California of things to invest in, and you are going to make an absolute steal out of this. If you can go ahead and place this order, and I start sketching out like a design, and I slide it to him. And a little bit later, I would like to say, I walk out. It's interesting because I wanted to have references to everybody, I guess. I'm just making this up on the spot. So this makes no sense and it's terrible, but it's just what it is. But it's all white, and it's similar to sort of what I described earlier as like that sort of like casino worker gambler outfit where it's like a pressed shirt, pants, boots, with a vest, no jacket over that. And but the thing is, Cadrax and I share a ghost white palette to begin with a little bit. So it's the suit itself is the color of Cadrax's lab or like hospital outfit, hospital coat. The vest itself has a red thread that forms flames on the vest itself, and then just in one of the pockets is a flower.
Abner is he's just an incredible tailor. You've got to be the only guy in your town out in the Wild West. So he's able to put this together for you in record time. You get that hat. What do you think? What kind of hat?
White cowboy hat.
Of course, you're a white hat.
Yep.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, y'all are outfitted in your cowboy gear, and as you're taking Virgil's, kind of taking you out, he's like, charge that to the sheriff's department, Abner. And as you are coming out, it is just about night. And Virgil takes you back to the saloon. Well, supposing y'all want something to eat. And you head into the saloon. Now, it's kind of loose in there. It's like there are a bunch of people. There's a small band playing with like a piano and a fiddle and an acoustic guitar. The saloon keeper, is doling out drinks. And as you come in, the saloon keeper kind of runs over and he's like, "Oh, Virgil, glad to see you." He's like, "Check this out." And he runs over to a corner and he's like, "I got me this newfangled camera equipment. Kind of wanted to be taking your picture. The problem is I'm not exactly sure how to use this thing. I got the plate coated and loaded, but I'm not sure how to compose this type of thing."
Benny's eyes are the size of saucers.
And he sort of turns around to the room. He's like, "Anybody know how to take them pictures?" And he's like,
I
"Yeah,
do.
you
Yeah,
have experience with these."
I do. I've not seen one in this condition before, but yeah, I've studied cameras. Yeah.
She is the best photographer this side of the Columbia River. In fact, she's going to put Moybridge to shame. I don't actually hold up. I don't think he might have not done anything yet. Don't worry about it.
Well, I don't know who that feller is, but that's good enough for me. I would love to get a picture of our local sheriff here. Here, and he kind of like pushes Virgil towards the front of the camera, and Virgil's like, "I don't like this." And
It'll be good. It'll be good. We can do it. You don't even have to. You don't even look at the camera. You don't even have to smile. You can just pretend we're not even here. Just sit still.
Just sit still.
Yeah, that's all.
And he kind of gives a frustrated sigh, and he's like, "All right, let's get this over with."
All right, chin up, shoulders back. Take a deep breath. Let it out. And think of something you're proud of, and then she's gonna take the picture.
Yeah, you take that shot, and as soon as Benny, the flash bulb kind of erupts, and Vion, you realize that this is that tintype of Virgil Wheeler you saw hanging on the wall in Graveglen when you were here 150 years from now. Virgil gets up and he looks at the saloon keeper. He's like, "You're lucky I owe you one." And he's like, "They can be from my collection. It's going to be great. Going to put it right there on the wall in a place to honor."
I think that'll stick around for a good amount of time. Also,
like, yeah.
Sorry, what year again was it, Rick? Right now?
1871.
1871?
Uh-huh.
Yes. Yeah, so next year, Moybridge. We're 1 year off.
Honestly.
Maybe somehow this gets back to him and he decides to become a photographer because he heard somebody referring to his great work. I don't know. You might have just changed it.
The origin of American cinema was the Bay Area. Everybody look it up. Anyway, sorry, go ahead. As was Flight. Sorry, go ahead, look it up.
Wow, you're still plugging Glider Montgomery, huh?
He literally just got himself wind powers. Yeah.
So the saloon keeper sits you down, and he starts bringing y'all some water and some food. And the band is playing, and y'all are eating, and Virgil's telling you a little bit about the town. And while you're eating, two guys in the band, the piano player and the fiddle player, they kind of start shouting at each other. One of them's like, "You said you'd pay for the beer," and the other one's like, "Oh, you said you'd pay for the beer. You pay. They kind of start shoving each other a little bit, and that shoving goes back and forth, and it starts getting a little rougher, and the piano player punches the fiddle player, and his fiddle goes flying through the air and kind of lands on the floor right at your feet, Cadrax.
Kind of condition is the poor fiddle in after this?
I cast telekinesis as it was flying through the air to soften the blow. It wasn't like so fast that I could stop it midair, but like I would like to say that I did my best.
was thinking about the dive catch, so yeah, like the fly dive catch.
I'll give you credit for that. Sure, yeah, it hits the ground, but it's kind of soft, and it just it's just sitting there.
pick it up. I've seen these before. These are lovely. Where did the bow go?
You can't quite see that right now because the piano player and the fiddle player are just like beating the crap out of each other over by the corner where the band plays.
I should stop that.
I'll go take care of that. Don't worry. You find the bow. I'll head over and I will cast emotional control just to calm them down a little bit. Not to manipulate anybody, just to bring down the testosterone in the room just a little bit.
Manipulate anybody, just to alter them from the way that they would by themselves be.
Vion, give me a roll to turn on emotional control.
Okay, this is 8 plus
Big magic
roll.
or little magic?
This is a little magic. I don't need to spend that much. And I'll burst it. 11 to turn it on.
11? Okay, that'll
Yeah.
work. Emotional control, make sure, does that need a roll in itself?
It's
choose a
emotional
target and
versus
visual arrangement awareness. All right, but you're bursting it, right?
Yeah.
So you roll on your power level, and I'm going to roll for everybody who's within burst radius.
Oh no. All right. Little magic. This is roll +3. Oh my god, and it's pumpkin. If there was no better time for this right now. That's 9. Best I
So
could do.
not only do the piano player and the fiddle player start to chill out, but like everybody within like kind of a 10-foot radius of the stage where they're playing from starts to kind of relax a little bit. And like the piano player and the fiddle player are like, I'm sorry about that, man. I don't know what happened. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. No, sometimes I just think, I can't really control my anger, and I've been working on that. I'm a little ashamed of my temper, and they sort of sit down and have a very kind of intimate psychiatric conversation. And you do notice that the bow is kind of lying on the stage now.
I'll pick it up and I'll move over to the men who are having conversation on their feelings and offer it toward the fiddleman. You were using this as a projectile?
And the fiddle players, wow, that is mighty nice of you. Man, it's just been a very strange night, but I don't know. I'm feeling very nice right now. Do you play?
Not yet, but I would like to.
Huh. Well, he's like, first thing you need to know, and he takes the fiddle and kind of like puts it like at his side, and he's like, them classical players play it up here by the chin, but I play it down here. And he kind of puts it down, and he's like, you want to rake the strings, just like pull. You can feel the vibrations as you pull the bow over the string, and you're gonna want to develop them calluses there on your fingers. And he kind of pulls it over, and he starts to play like like a Stephen Foster thing or something. I don't know, 1870s. So kind of a little bit of bluegrassy something. And he's like, yeah, why don't you give it a shot?
I will take the bow. I will take the fiddle. I will almost put it to my chin like I'm fine. Sam is fine. I will do it as instructed and put my fingers over it, put the bow up over the string, and I am going to cheat it, and I'm going to use my voice.
What are you going to do with your voice? You're going to like try and make it sound like you're
my
awesome?
voice can cause vibrations.
Oh,
so
you're actually going to play it with your voice.
Strings at any arbitrary pitch. Because
give me a complex task roll.
I don't know how to with bowing and fingering and stuff. Oh, hey, cool, 15.
15. Yeah, and you kind of fake doing it with the bow as you unleash your voice and play. What do you think you play?
Exactly what he just played.
Yeah, you parrot it right back to him, and it's like, oh, you are a fast learner, ain't you?
An excellent teacher.
That is mighty kind of you. Mighty kind. You have yourself a pleasant evening there, and don't give up. I think you got a talent for this.
Thank you.
And he takes the fiddle back, and you finish your dinner and you head out of the saloon, and Virgil's like, all right, let's see if I can find y'all a place to sleep. We got some empty beds in the jail.
Okay. That's option
And,
number one.
Yeah, he walks you over to the sheriff's office and takes
Do
you
we
in the
want to
front
talk
door.
to the guy?
Yeah, it might not be a bad idea.
Well, he will be at hand if we stay in the jail.
Yeah, you walk in, and as you walk in the back row, you can see like a row in the back of the sheriff's office. You can see a row of like 4 kind of small jail cells, and in them there is in one of them, 3 of them are empty. In the 4th one, there's a guy. He's played by Michael Shannon, and he as soon as you walk in, he's like, "Hey, Virgil, you know my dad's gonna be coming for me. He's going to punish you in this whole damn town, and ain't nothing you can do to stop him." And Virgil's just like, yeah, huh? He's like, don't you mind Jesse there. He ain't getting out of that cell, so all he can do is talk a lot. And Virgil walks over to one of the other cells, and he opens up the door, and he's like, his beds are actually more comfortable than they look. You each welcome to one of them.
Thank you for your generosity.
Yeah, thanks, Sheriff.
Anytime. And then he turns and he walks to the desk that's in the front of the room, and he sits down on the desk, and he puts his feet up on the desk, and he pulls his hat down over his head, and in like 10 seconds you hear like
Well, I've heard about people who can fall asleep in like a minute or less, but I did not think that was real. So
It's
The
called
more you know.
narcolepsy, and it's a serious condition.
that's all right.
True.
I turn around and look at the guy.
Yeah. I also turn and look at the guy.
We simultaneously the crew.
he's like, what have we here? 3 strangers.
One
Yeah.
stranger. She gestures at him.
I tell you what, you go steal Virgil's keys and let me on out of here, and my daddy'd give you a big reward.
Oh, really? What kind of reward are we talking?
Bigger than this hat?
What kind of reward do you want?
Well, word around town is that your dad is a pretty capable individual.
That is why he runs this place.
I thought the sheriff runs the place.
Virgil likes to think that about himself, but my daddy runs this whole territory.
Then why are you here?
Really?
I won't be here for long. I'm just here because Virgil don't know what's good for him.
Wait,
And
how you
if-
been... Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Benny.
I was like, and if nobody comes for you, do you just hang out then?
They be coming for me. I
have
am
a lot
not
of-
worried at all. Do I seem worried to you?
A little bit.
Yes.
Remind me again what got you locked up behind bars?
I was making a withdrawal from the bank, and
Uh-huh.
suddenly the law came shooting at me and my friends.
When you say a withdrawal, do you mean like you went in, you had a withdrawal slip, you were pulling out from your exact account, or do you mean sort of a general withdrawal?
I was just taking what was in the bank, which I believe I am entitled to.
Got it. Wow, I would hate to be your lawyer. Okay. Well, yeah. Makes sense that your dad would be coming. He runs the entire territory?
I don't know nobody who's going to stand up to him.
What exactly line of business is he in?
Oh, little of this, little of that.
Yeah, one of
You
those.
know how it is.
Yeah, sometimes a little bit of this is some unsavory business, if you know what I mean. So it's a tough line.
He's gonna be here, and he's gonna save me. And I'm either gonna tell him that the 3 of you helped me out, or I'm gonna tell him that the 3 of you didn't help me out. Which way you want it to be?
I turned to Viana and Kedrix. I'm like, a compelling point he makes.
Yeah, that's a very compelling point that he makes. I mean, either way, it's kind of embarrassing for a man who runs the entire territory for his son to have gotten locked up and not be able to get out on his own. That's.
Has he
I
broken
mean, I
you
had
up?
tough parents, but
Yeah.
you know.
Has he broken
you
you up
saying?
before? Is this like a thing? He's come to get you from jail before?
Oh yeah, he breaks me out every time I wind up in jail.
Wow, must be nice getting eaten right out of daddy's hand like that.
How many times before he is sick of that, huh? If he's like this big crime guy, you getting caught probably doesn't reflect very well on him.
What is your point?
I mean, what if he's not coming is all I'm saying.
Oh, he's coming.
But if
when
he's
he
not,
arrives, you ain't gonna want to be here.
Could you remind me, Rick, what the book said about Sheriff Wheeler and his demise?
Sheriff Wheeler.
Yeah. The book that I took to the lake house. Yeah.
Yes, give me one moment. The book that you took to the lake house. Sorry. The book that you took to the lake house, which I have access to, said. I'm gonna read this real fast. You ready?
Yep, I'm listening.
Virgil Wheeler was born in 1838 in Tennessee. His parents, Bass and Minnie, were enslaved by a powerful judge named Harrison Wheeler. When the Civil War broke out, Harrison's son Blake went to fight for the South, and took Virgil with him. When Blake Wheeler was killed in battle, Virgil escaped. For the next few years, he lived among various indigenous tribes. It was during this period he learned to read and shoot and fight, and in 1865, the 13th Amendment emancipated the enslaved population. After that, Virgil found work as a bounty hunter and quickly developed a reputation for being among the toughest and most effective men in his profession. In 1868, he chased a particularly dangerous fugitive using the name Nathan Maines to the California town of Graveglen, only to discover that the town sheriff, Gavin Boyle, was Maines' father. Boyle and Maines set an ambush for Wheeler, but he outfought them. Maines was captured and Boyle was killed in the shootout. The citizens of Graveglen were extremely grateful, and apparently Sheriff Boyle had used his power to act as something of a town dictator. The people expressed their gratitude by offering Virgil the position of sheriff. Virgil Wheeler served as sheriff of Graveglen until at least September of 1871, after which no more is recorded of him.
Oh, that's right. That's why I didn't remember anything, because nothing was recorded. Okay. I turned to our friend in the cell. What month is it, by the way?
What month is it?
Yeah, just remind me real quick.
September.
Oh boy. Okay.
Why, you got somewhere you got to be?
Yeah, here apparently. Okay. Interesting. You wouldn't happen to possibly consider the idea of us breaking you out and then you sort of just being good, if that makes sense? Kind of straying away from your father's this and that business, which sounds, like I said earlier, unsavory.
I'm always good.
That sounds like a blatant lie. The way you said it, the way you laughed, didn't sound like that was a truthful statement at all.
Well, then I guess we just wait for Daddy.
Okay, great.
And while you sit down to wait for Daddy, I think this is a good place to take a break. It looks like we are just shy of $500. Thank
Holy
you so
smokes.
much, everybody. That is fantastic. Thank you so much for helping out for the worthy cause. Every penny tonight goes to Equality Texas, and we could not be more grateful for your generosity. We will be back here in 10 minutes. Thank you. Hello, and we are back. Thank you so much, everybody, for contributing to the cause. Everything donated tonight goes to Equality Texas. And when last I saw, we were just under $500. So thank you so much. When we left off, our team was in jail. They weren't in jail. They were sleeping at the jailhouse at the sheriff's office, and having a conversation with Jesse Moran. And when we come back now, it is just turning day. Sun is rising, birds are chirping, the morning comes. And as light cracks over that yonder window, a young boy runs into the sheriff's office, and he hands Virgil a note as you all watch. Virgil reads it, and then he immediately gets up, checks his 6-gun to see if it's loaded, grabs a rifle, a box of shells that he puts in a bag, and he looks at you and he's like, "It's from Eli Moran. He's got those homesteaders, and he's holding them out in his desert, out in the desert as his camp. I reckon he's trying to lure me away from the town so he can send those skeleton monsters here to free Jesse and do God knows what else. But he don't know that I've got you."
You don't, indeed.
All right. Eli's got a camp out in Tell Canyon. Vion, you and me, we're going to head out there and save those homesteaders.
All right,
You
sure.
there. Doc, Benny, I'd be much obliged if you would stay here and defend the town while we are gone.
That's what we're good at.
And he reaches into a drawer and he pulls out these 2 deputy badges and he flips one to Benny and one to Cadrax. You may act under the color of my authority, but no, it is more important to me that the townspeople do not get hurt than it is that Jesse does not escape. That being said, if you can prevent this mangy dog from getting out of here, I would be much obliged for that as well.
Is it requisite that he remain in?
It is ideal.
Noted. Thank you.
But if you've got to give him up to save the town, give him up to save the town. Protecting the people come first. And he looks at you, Vion, and he says, "Can you ride a horse?"
Yeah, I'm from Evergreen. Sorry, that doesn't mean anything to you right now. Yeah, I can.
I am not familiar with Evergreen, but good. Vion, he takes you outside and walks down the street, comes back with a horse for you.
I will say, I'm just going to base this off of my real life experiences. Riding a horse, pretty good. Getting on the horse, a little bit of a challenge. So that will take a second.
So yeah, this is one of those, like, right, you step on and you can't quite get your leg over, and then you slide over, the side and keep trying to do it. And he's just sort of watching, and he's just like, you said you learned to ride a horse, right? I don't know. This how they do it in Evergreen?
Yeah, this is the style. It kind of just warms you up a little bit, Sheriff.
Warms you up. Okay. And he just kind of like steps right up and gets like right on his horse, like easy peasy,
Oh yeah, you're gonna be cold. You don't want to do it that way. And finally, I make my way onto the horse.
Yeah. And like, all right, time to do this. And he, spurs the horse and gallops south, and you follow him.
Be careful.
I turn
Be
back to Benny.
successful.
Thank you. I'll be totally. And I almost like slip off and pull myself back up. Be fine. It'll be great. I'll be fine. It'll be great.
And you hear him doing that off into the distance. I'm fine. I'm great. I'm fine.
Very convincing.
Hat flies off, and he's got to stop to pick it back up while you watch and get back on the horse again, and it's all
Very
awkward.
graceful.
Yeah.
It's like how our
and-
streaks are did.
Yeah. Oh, yes. No, well, it's not that graceful, but yeah. And they disappear, and you hear Jesse Moran from the jail in the back, and he's just like, you ain't even got Virgil. I got a feeling y'all are going to be in trouble. Ain't too late to let me out of here if you want to live.
Oh, Cadrex, I think he's underestimating us.
In what respect? In respect for our compassion? Because I think, if anything, he's significantly overestimating me and my propensity to take care of problems efficiently.
You make a good point. You are simultaneously under and overestimating us, sir.
And he's confusing. And he sits down and is like, yeah. Say I didn't warn you. He kind of gives you this like kind of nasty, toothy smile.
Don't say we didn't.
Now there is a dentist on the street.
Oh, maybe I'll kill him later.
Intent. Thank you.
Vion, you and Virgil ride south for a few hours. And eventually you come to stop at a small spring where you get off and let the horses drink. And Virgil's, all right, I'm going to take a quick rest. The horses here don't wear out on us.
Okay.
And he sits down on a rock and kind of starts cleaning out his gun. He's like, so tell me about yourself, Vion.
It's a very complicated ask right there, Sheriff. How much you want to know?
It's the important part.
Okay. I'm a writer. And Vion looks around, just like wondering, like, how much to share?
I am getting the sense that there is more than that.
Yeah. You know, if I'm being quite honest, Sheriff, I'm kind of figuring that out myself as time goes on. I don't know. I keep getting the sensation that I've sussed it out, like I got it, and then something comes along and kind of sets me back off the track a little bit, if that makes sense. And I had someone that I thought I could kind of pester about that stuff after a pretty big change in my life, but hadn't seen him in a while until recently. And I don't know if that necessarily means that I'm going to get the answers to the questions I have, and maybe that's part of it, but let me tell you, that is aggravating as hell.
What are the questions you have?
It would take a lot of explaining, I guess, and I kind of, like, we're at a water hole, is that right?
Yeah.
I just, like, skip a rock or something. And even aside from the occasional airplane, maybe, like, this area is very familiar because, like, if you drive out to, like, outside of Death Valley and stuff like that, there's, like, neighborhoods and stuff like that, but you can get to a spot where you hear nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like, the nearest highway is, like, so far away. So oddly enough, this doesn't seem like out of time. So I'm kind of comfortable about that. It was a pretty rough couple months, Sheriff, and I almost did something pretty bad a little while ago.
What do you do?
Well,
what did you almost do?
Almost do. I almost you might laugh because it's pretty regular practice for you, I suppose, knowing your possible history. Almost slipping up and saying that I know a lot about this individual. But I almost killed a man.
You almost killed a man.
Yeah.
Well, that is a very serious thing. What did he do to you?
Well, he was part of a group of genocidal maniacs that were trying to level the city that I was living in. You know, I think the part, though, that kind of gets me, Sheriff, is that wasn't exactly why I wanted to hurt him.
Why did you want to hurt him?
How do I explain this? There's a play where I come from. Like, you fan of theater at all?
I have enjoyed the occasional Shakespeare.
Really? Really? I mean, I will 100% fill you in on my side of things, but I just got to ask, what's your favorite? That tells you a lot about somebody.
I have always enjoyed that Hamlet.
that honestly checks out. Interesting. Well, there's this play where I'm from. It's regional. You probably wouldn't know about it. It takes place in a saloon, I should say. I didn't really pay it much mind when I was growing up with it. But there was just a point in my life where I realized that I was trying to think of the exact vernacular, having too much of a good time a little too often, if that makes sense.
Know the type.
Yeah. And wasn't anything one particular thing. I just kind of told myself at some point, hey, you know, I'm gonna pull back on this, but it's such a huge aspect of my identity, considering what I do for a living and the people that I associate with. I didn't know exactly how to spend time with everyone or who to be if people would like me. And then I'm watching this play one of these days, and I find out, it just clicks to me, I guess is the best way to put it. The main character of this production, he's the bartender, but he doesn't drink. And so I suddenly realized I can be like this guy. I mean, he doesn't do that, but everyone loves him, and people gravitate towards him, and something that I wanted so badly to be myself, you know, this presence, this warm presence in people's lives. And sort of in my mind, that saloon became a very positive place. And when I wanted to work on myself, I would think of this saloon, you know. And this next part might be a little confusing, I suppose, but if you'll just go with me, you know, with it, Sheriff. We sort of ran into these individuals, these, terrible people from pretty far away, very far away. And I wanted to talk some sense into them. I didn't want to use violence like they were using. And I thought, well, what if I just take them to a place that I associate with second chances and healing and improving yourself, and sobriety, you know, of the chemical kind, but also of the mind. And well, he laughed at me, Sheriff. That's why I wanted to kill him. He laughed at me. He laughed at everything that I had done, all the work I had put into myself, everything that I was. And that's why I wanted to take a brick and shove it down his throat until he stopped breathing. I'm not even sure if I wanted to kill him, honestly. I think that I wanted him to beg me to stop, so I had power over him. I think that's what I wanted. And when I realized that, a voice kind of popped up and said, this isn't the way. Oddly enough, familiar voice, which is kind of funny considering this conversation. And thank God I've watched a lot of plays about time travel, otherwise this would completely melt my brain out of my nose. But
what now?
Oh, it's just a East Coast thing. Don't worry about it. It's new. I think it's from France or something like that. But it was that lack of control that I had over myself. I let somebody else get in my skin. And with the stuff that I can do, that's kind of similar to the man we're pursuing right now, I don't know if that's good. And I don't know if someone who prides themselves on being justice-minded, I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with the fact that I'm so easily biased, if that makes sense. Well, that's a lot to put on you. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. You asked a very simple question. You probably just wanted to know where I'm from originally or something like that, like how many siblings I have or whatever. I'm sorry. I got 2 younger siblings.
Some of that made sense, I guess.
Yeah.
Justice-minded, eh?
Yeah, justice-minded.
Justice. You know.
Yeah. Also, sorry, 1 sibling. Sorry, let me quickly retract that. That's my own information. I have a sister. That's Fion's answer.
You know, in my experience, justice, it ain't nothing but a word. Made up by some Greek fella, I imagine.
Okay.
Maybe Aristotle. But between you and me, I don't know any justice. I know helping people that need help. I know fighting for people who can't fight for themselves. And I know putting myself between the evil in this world and the people that I don't want to see touched by it. And I reckon if that is what I am doing when my time comes, I'll be all right with that. You understand me?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I guess when you put it that way, it makes a lot of sense. It kind of reduced it down. I have an odd follow-up question. Considering that we just saw a skeleton, riding on a horse, I think that maybe we have a little bit of room for this type of questioning. If you could do more, though, you personally, Sheriff, if you had a chance beyond your lifetime to leave some sort of active legacy from everything you've experienced, or that I could surmise that you might have experienced, what would that be?
I have seen the worst of what mankind has to offer, and much of the best. If I had a legacy, I would want that legacy to be about protecting the latter from the former. I reckon I would want my legacy to be people who are willing to self-sacrifice to make that happen. Something bigger than themselves, something other than themselves. That's all. I'm a simple man.
I
That's why I do what I do.
I think we need more simple men in this world, Sheriff. I think a lot of guys are very complicated and want too many things. That's a very simple want. And yeah.
That is the problem. Everybody wants something for themselves.
Thank you for listening, by the way. I appreciate it. I haven't been able to sort of work that out. It's been a little bit busy, so this little break has been nice.
Well, my pleasure. You are a strange fellow, Vion, but it is my pleasure.
That's
and
the
I
best
do hope I
review
get
ever.
to see that play sometime. What is it called, by the way?
Which one again? The one about
that one
the
you were
saloon?
talking about, yeah.
It's it slips my mind. I think it was a Gaelic word or something like that. So
Gaelic.
Yeah.
All right. I think these horses are about ready.
All right. Sounds good. Let's go.
Yeah, and the two of you get back to riding again. Meanwhile, back in Grave Glen, Cadrax, Benny, anything you generally want to do right now to...
We definitely heckled Jesse for like a little bit longer before we leave, but
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I think Benny would just want to like post up and keep an eye out, but Cadrax actually has powers that might assist in that in ways that are more useful.
Well, a lookout and a listen out are complementary, given that I can keep eyes on him and perform my function. But you could lend your sense as well. Though, all I am saying is that the sheriff said we did not have to keep him here.
Where do you want to put him?
It is for the moment the most defensible location I can think of, especially since we have not scouted this entire area. But this is exactly where his father will expect him.
That's true. It didn't sound like his father was coming personally. We might just have some skeletons on horses. But if he
that
died,
itself was a diversion. We do not know.
That's true.
We do not know how much he cares about his son. He might
Yeah.
not care about his son at all. I would like to just very slightly use the voice to project that into Jesse's hearing from down the hall where we're having the rest of the conversation fairly far away. I am perhaps... Well, my compassion was overestimated, and I am demonstrating that fact. There we are.
And from down the hall, you hear Jesse say, "You don't know what you're talking about, you low lives."
Oh. He feels very defensive over whether or
Yeah.
not his daddy loves him.
Right. Yeah, I feel like that speaks
My
to some
daddy loved
underlying.
me.
It's very defensive. Okay.
Of course he does.
Yet to be seen. Do we want to do do you want to do like an aerial scout, or are you better on the ground for sound?
We are not in a vacuum.
That's
I can use the voice from anywhere.
fair. Also,
This
I
has
don't
not
know
always
how.
been the case.
Yes, yeah, that's true. I don't know how well sound travels through sand. That's not something I know much about.
Not as well as through a solid,
That makes sense.
but air also is not a solid.
Yeah, true. Okay, Rick, how big is this town? Like this main stretch? Like, can you see from one end to the other? Like,
Yeah, I would say you could. It's a little, it's a
like a dozen buildings deep, or like is this like bigger than
something
that,
like
smaller
that.
than that? Okay.
It's probably size of a football field or something like
Okay.
that.
Okay. That's okay. Good.
The problem, as I see it, primarily, is that there is nothing. This is the closest to a defensible location that there exists. There's
Mhm.
very little tactical advantage to be had here.
Mhm.
I'm assuming that this is a very traditional sort of old Westy town, no high ground.
It's flat. Yeah.
High
It has
ground.
a flat vibe.
This is not the Star Wars universe, Sam. High ground is not going to help.
You're right. That is the only place with a variation in elevation, and the only point where that has been tactically significant. So yes, all of that is to say that Catrex's assumption stands. There is
The landscape is generally, flat and deserty, cactuses, stuff like that. But, there are big rocks, small hills.
Oh, I think we do check up on Ulas. Just make sure they're still good. Like we don't need to just with the Death Star, make sure they're still hidden. If some bad people are coming into town, maybe move them.
Why don't I do a scout then for that? I can use the voice to shake the dust from them.
Yeah.
And that will give me the opportunity to do flyby.
Just take a second to make sure they're good. That's
yeah, exactly. No, that
are you both going or just Cadrex?
I think someone should keep an eye on the child.
Yeah, I'll hang out.
The one who can't rob the bank.
I'll babysit.
All right.
And Cadrex, you walk out, and now you got a cowboy on, so it's one of those every time you take a step, it's ching, 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 ching. As the spurs kind of turn. And you walk to the end of the row where you left Ulez in the shadow the day before, and there's that cactus there, and it's got little pile of sand on top of it, and a little pile of sand on each one of the little cactus arms, whatever they're called. I don't know. And that is what you see.
Hello, Ulas. This is Cadrax. I hope you are doing well and that any internal updates you are engaging in are going well and productive. I hope your memory is well managed. I had some concern about sand getting into your processors, so I'm going to use the voice to apply some gentle vibration to free it. Please do not be alarmed by this. I will start now. And I'm really just thinking of I don't know, my Apple Watch has this function where if water gets in it, you can shake, do the setting and it'll shake the water out. But for sand.
Yeah.
Because tech hates sand.
Yeah, and you are, your power over vibration is definitely fine enough to affect that for Ulez. And they may look like a cactus, but that is just an illusion. So you can actually see sand falling from, where their joints would probably be in any place in them that would have caught sand.
All right. We are going to defend the town. If you are to in any way become aware and active finishing your upgrade cycle, please join us with the sheriff. We will be defending a child from capture.
The cactus just
Exist well. And come back. I miss you.
What do you do now, Cadrax?
How... I would like to do a wide flyby. Not a very high one. And I'm going to be fairly outside of the town. So you mentioned there are some hills. So I kind of want to get to the other side of those hills for two reasons. One, visibility from the town, and a weirdo flying. Two, if I were going to stage an operation, I would stage it immediately behind a hill.
Okay. Yeah, you head out and walk to the hills, you said? Or
Low fly.
low fly. Okay. Yeah, you kind of along the ground, and you know this town is pretty sparsely populated. So as soon as you get a little bit away from it, you're pretty safe. And you fly along the road that leads out of town towards the hills, and then you finally kind of crest over the hills. Tell you what, give me an intellect roll. Anything you can apply anything investigation based. You don't have anything like that, right? Okay, so
No, that is
just give
not
me
my profession.
yeah, just give me an intellect roll.
All right. 7.
You don't see anything.
Ping.
Give me a ping roll.
Okay. All right. Sure. I mean, fine. 16.
16. You pick up. I mean, you know the landscape. You know. This is a good ping. You kind of get where all the rocks are, where all the hills are, little cracks and canyons in the ground, and although it does not seem to be within the range of your ping right now, you pick up kind of a steady, almost feels like a drumming kind of vibration building.
Was it similar to those cows?
It is very similar to those cows.
I would like to move with alacrity back to Benny.
Yeah, and you turn around and zip back to the town. Meanwhile, out in the desert, you've been riding for a little while, and no, another couple of hours maybe, and Virgil kind of pulls back on the reins and stops, and ahead of you there is kind of like a drop off, and he's like, "That there is Tell Canyon. Eli's camp is down there." He reaches for his rifle and he hands it out to you. He's like, "You want this?"
No thanks, Sheriff. I'm good without a weapon.
Suit yourself. He puts it back into his side holster. And he climbs down off of his horse and he signals for you to do the same. And for you, getting off the horse is about as graceful as getting on. You kind of like step out. It's one of those like slide over the side of the horse and just kind of land. And Virgil kind of shakes his head at you.
Just ghost off the horse, just like.
I should, honestly.
And he takes the reins of the horses and he ties them around a nearby branch, just as a little shrub. And he says, "We'll walk from here." And the two of you set out on foot towards that drop. And it takes you another 5 minutes to get there, so 5-10 minutes. When you get there, you look down into the canyon and you see like a long gravelly path leading down a hill. And at the end of the hill, at the bottom, you can just sort of see the side of a couple of tents. when you look up, you can kind of see that this canyon is sort of enclosed. It's got like high rock walls all around it, and these tents are now down in the bottom. So there's essentially only as far as you can tell, one way in and one way out. And Virgil says that there's Eli's camp.
All right, what's the play, Sheriff?
I reckon we wait until dark.
Okay.
Then we head down there, see if we can move all quiet like through the camp. See if we can find them homesteaders. And try and get them out without raising a fuss. And if a fuss gets raised, well, then we might have to improvise, as they say in the theater.
Yeah, I got a little bit of experience with that. I did some classes at Groundlings. Okay, that sounds good.
Back in the town, Cadrax, you are arriving back at the sheriff's office just as the sun is starting to go down. Benny, you are there. You hear Jesse Moran is in the back, and he's just been taunting you, and he's just like, "Yo, you're gonna die. You're gonna get killed. My daddy gonna pull out your legs, and he's gonna fry your head, and eat your arms," and just yelling all kinds of threatening sounding stuff. But he's a moron, so it's
That's fun.
Yeah. And Cadrax comes flying in the door and lands.
Anything good?
Huh. How good is it to have many ungulates coming very quickly at us? They might not be ungulates. Could be something else that's stampeding.
Where do we want to post up?
Inside here would be acceptable were this truly a stampede and not an perhaps army of horse-riding skeletons or anything of that nature. We don't know enough, but I thought you might want to know. Incoming.
Good. Okay. Cool. I mean, I don't want to ruin our new friend's lovely office. I could do lava monster again. Could be big.
If the horses are deterred by that the way that the cows were, that would be incredibly effective.
It seems like they might be magic or something. So they might not care, but
we don't know.
Yeah,
yet.
we don't know.
But yes, above all, we must protect the town. That
Yes.
was our instruction.
Yes. Did you have an idea for moving him? What was your thought on that?
Well,
Just so they don't know where to find him?
that was the primary one. The other one I had, I admit, is slightly unsavory. But it is very hard to get at something that is flying, and there is very little incentive for him to break free in such a circumstance.
That's true. And then I could just do a sweep in the street.
Yes. If
That's
this is
fun.
agreeable.
Yeah.
Very well. Moran, child.
Watch what you call me.
All right, buddy.
I can't
Time
watch
walks
it
over.
as a sound.
Call me Mr. Moran or Sir.
I believe those both would apply to your father. Ready to go for a ride?
Where are we going? You taking me home?
Sure. I'd step out of the way for Cadrax to do it. If they'd like
Make
to
a
lockpick,
make a
etc.
willpower roll, Benny.
No.
Oh, you just bumped up your willpower.
I did.
Okay. Nice.
He's just being a jackass. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 11.
And he kind of looks at you and he's like, All right. Finally. Getting some respect around here.
Yeah, you got through to me. It was the insult about frying my head. Real scary.
We're very susceptible to such damage.
I am. I really am.
Let me on out.
I assume we don't have the keys, Rick? Would that be correct?
Are they just like hanging on the wall somewhere?
Yeah, let's assume Virgil took them with you.
Yeah,
But for you, Cadrax, this old West lock is,
That's why
nothing.
I ask. Which one do I need to do to open it? All right. So yes, I will go up. I will touch the lock. It will unlock.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna make you roll for it. This lock is so old, and you're so good at this already. And you just Jesse Moran sort of sees you just like touch the lock and it opens. He's like, "Huh, you got quite a talent for opening locks there. You want to join up with me and my daddy? I know a whole bunch of banks with locks that you could probably help us unlock."
Unquestionably, since you apparently cannot do so.
I got the lock open.
And yet not this one.
Yeah, well, I ain't got my guns no more. Give me my guns back.
Come along.
And where are we going? And where do you lead him?
I'd like to make a surprise grapple check.
Surprise grapple check? I think it's coordination versus coordination, right?
I will believe you if you say it. I would have guessed it was something to do with strength, but the two are the same.
Yeah.
For me at the moment.
Hang on.
Yep, it's one of those special. Grabbing a weapon isn't the same as grabbing a person. It's a different stat.
Right.
The lower of a thing or the same thing but +1.
All right, wrestling when you want to grab or restrain an opponent. Roll a test of prowess against a difficulty of the greater of the target's prowess or coordination.
Okay, cool.
So it's your prowess versus his. Okay, ready?
Let's go. Haha, max die. 13.
13. Okay.
Benny's hanging out next to the door.
Thank you for
the
gym pass.
Yeah.
Oh, gym pass, yeah. All right. So that is. Yeah, you have a complete hold on him, so he is fully restrained and can take no physical action except to try and escape, which he's not doing right now. Right now, he's what the hell are you doing? Get off me! Get off me! Your dad is going to be so angry at you.
Whoosh. Into the sky, up and up and up and up and up.
Oh wow! Okay,
I hope he's not afraid of heights.
Fly straight up, and he's. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh my God, where are we going? Hey, put me down. Put me down on the ground. Put me down.
I don't think you want that right now.
And he's like, you better not let me go. My dad would be so angry at you.
Doesn't strike me that you would be around to witness it. I suggest you behave. You may call me sir.
Very nice. And while you are flying into the air with Jesse Moran, Vion, it is also sunset out in the desert, and Virgil starts to creep towards the canyon. He's like, you stay close for now.
All right, sounds good. It's a very sage decision there, Sheriff.
And staying close to the rock wall, you start to walk down that path that leads into the canyon. And from the distance, you can see, as you get closer, that it's not just a couple of tents. There's almost kind of a whole tent city down here. And you can see sort of little orange glows coming from various points in it, like campfires, you would guess. And you can see a bunch of figures kind of walking around, some in the tents, some passing between. But from this distance, you can't quite tell if those are like people or skeleton cowboys or, whatever.
One and the same.
And Virgil's like, all right, we're going to have to be careful. First priority, get the homesteaders out. Second priority, give Eli Moran a taste of my fist. That would be a nice bonus.
All right. You listen. This is your territory. You obviously know this a lot better than I do. But just so you know, just so we can kind of exchange this real quickly. And so Beyond stops and realizes the impression he makes now is going to resonate with the sheriff, who will then interact with him in the future. So this is how he will get to know Beyond. Oh boy. So
well, in all fairness, at this point, Vion has already knows that his sheriff is not actually Virgil Wheeler. When you remember when that entity dropped the veil of Virgil Wheeler, you realize that it was back during
when the sheriff badge disappeared.
Yes, when the sheriff badge disappeared, he came clean and said he was some sort of guide that was wearing the face of Virgil Wheeler.
Right.
So you know this is not actually this guy.
Okay. A good point. Okay. Yes. All right. Well, you know what? Hey, Sheriff, there's something you should probably know about me. I cook up terrible plans. So I've got a terrible plan. Do you know if they have one or two folks standing like on a sentinel, keeping watch at the edge of the camp usually?
And he's like, let me check. And he turns and looks down the hill, and he turns back to you. He's like, don't see anything like that.
Okay. Yeah, let's go with the bad plan. I'm going to wander into camp, and I'm going to see what I can do about getting the folks out. I need to see exactly where they're located in order to extract them. And I think there's a way we can do this very peacefully without causing too much tension.
And what would that be?
You're not going to like it. And I'm going to cast invisibility on myself.
Give me an invisibility roll, or big magic or little magic.
This one could be little magic.
Okay. All right, you're going to get this. I got one.
Great. 8 + 5, 13.
Yeah, no problem.
Great.
I'm changing die out.
Little Taylor Swift. Great.
Bye-bye red, hello blue.
Wow, that was very on theme. Okay, great. So I'm invisible, and you know what? So I cast invisibility on myself. Ooh, this is gonna get very interesting. Let's do this. I'm casting invisibility on myself. I got multiple magic. Let's go to town. And it's just me right now. Okay, great. So I'm gonna cast invisibility on myself, and then that was little magic. With big magic, I would like to cast flight on myself.
Give me a big magic roll.
Great. 8 plus roll to turn it on. That's 12.
Yeah, that'll get it done.
Great.
So that gets it to you at level 5, so you can fly as fast as a helicopter.
Great. I'm not gonna need that. I just don't want
to. As you disappear, Virgil Wheeler's like, "Well, don't that beat all?"
I'll be right back, Sheriff. Don't worry about it. I hope. And I want to float down, and I'm casting flight on myself to make sure that my feet don't touch the ground, and I don't want to like make any noise, and I want to sort of invisibly glide through the camp.
Okay. Yeah, the camp is pretty big, like I said. Do me a favor, make an investigation roll.
Great.
Any of your investigatory bonuses apply?
Let's see what I have, considering I'm a private detective. All right, so it's gonna be 7 plus roll. That's gonna be a 13.
Okay, so you fly down into the camp.
Yep.
And you start flying kind of around these tents every once in a while, kind of whenever one's open, you peek your head in.
Yeah.
You know, when sometimes you come to a tent that's closed and you kind of, push it open and it's like, is it the wind? What's doing that kind of thing?
Right.
And you start investigating around and you can see that there are skeleton cowboys everywhere. Just kind of walking around up and down the rows, almost like they're patrolling or something like that.
I'm gonna phase.
Phase is not magic, so you can do that on top of everything.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
and there are also kind of regular bandits that look like they are probably, the Moran's gang. Some of them are kind of sleeping in tents. Some of
Okay.
them are, sitting around those campfires playing cards or
Got it.
eating beans or, whatever now. But the whole place being patrolled by these skeleton cowboys kind of everywhere. And you start zipping around, you're looking for those homesteaders, the
Yeah.
prisoners.
Do I see them anywhere?
Not yet, but you keep looking while we go back over to
Great.
Grave Glen, where Benny and Cadrax. Cadrax, you are floating way above the town holding Jesse Moran. Benny, you are in the sheriff's office still?
No, I followed them out. Shut the
okay.
door behind me, and then I'm gonna go stand in the middle of the street. I am going to lava monster, and I want to do aura 1, growth 3.
So that makes you 6 stories?
Yes. And then should I go bigger? I could go
Well,
pretty
we
big.
cannot go home, so we are only left with go big.
That's fair.
Hey!
That's very, very good point.
Sam, you love everyone.
Okay. Yeah, let's party hard. 1 aura, 4 growth. That leaves me 3 magma form, so 8 stories tall.
So 8 stories tall. Okay, that's pretty big.
Mhm.
And yeah, you lava on and start stretching up to 8 stories tall.
That visual of when a volcano erupts, that kind of like comes out of her. She reforms really, really big.
Awesome. And yeah, you can see, even though it is dark now, way off in the distance, a kind of dust cloud kind of rising in the desert. Cadrax, you can see it from the air too. And Cadrax, you can feel, even up in the air, you can feel the vibrations, the disturbances in the air. Something is coming this way. And as you wait and you watch, you can see a rider, and then 2, and then 3, and then 10, and then 20, and then 50. And it's just like an army of riders headed right towards you. And as you watch, they get closer and closer. As they get into, comfortable visual range, you can both start to tell that it is just essentially a small army of skeleton cowboys just riding straight towards the town. Just, full bore, just horses just, going as hard as they can, kicking up dust behind them. And they are just riding straight for the 8-story tall lava person who is standing in the middle of the street. Cadrax, you see
How
this
high
all
is
happening too.
How high am I compared to Cadrax?
Cadrax, how high?
Ooh, let's see. Not that far. But at eye level, 6 stories. You said?
I'm 8 stories. I went 8 stories.
Oh, if you're 8 stories, yes, we can be much closer in height. We're keeping it nice, and you do not want to let go over here.
So you are like eye level with
roughly
Benny?
eye level, give or take. Yeah. Why not?
Okay.
You mean
It's fine.
within shouting distance?
It's a good view. I mean, not that we don't have between all of us. Who gave it away and it got crushed? There we go. Never mind then.
It got electrocuted. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yep, never
Benny
mind.
lost theirs,
Nothing
but
gold
you
can
have
stand.
yours and Vion has his. So
Mhm.
you can communicate with
together, so
Vion
it's
if
good.
you want. But
Right, and I can both amplify incoming sound and my own voice, so actually we're fine.
so
I feel like I should just. She makes like a smashing motion with the palms of her hands.
The town.
Yeah, well, outside of the town.
Yes.
So I'll start walking forward and get off of the main street.
and Jesse Moran like hanging in Cadrax's arms is just sort of like, the hell is that thing?
still probably better at breaking out of jail than you.
I mean, historically, yes.
Indeed, yes.
We've broken out of jail
like,
before.
we just have.
Just one more
There's
than
no
he's done.
probably. I was going to say probably about the bank, but then I realized the jail was more pertinent, so I brought it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Benny, you start walking like sort of, towards outside the town.
Yeah, I want to be outside. I want to interpose myself between the town and this stampede.
Okay. While you are heading there, Vion, you are flying around, and mostly what you see are tents and skeleton cowboys and campfires, but like way at the back of this little canyon, up against the far rock wall, the cliff face, there is kind of a weird little altar that's been built, and yeah, it's kind of round and elevated. You would probably think it was like a stage, but like it's got clearly it's got like metal cuffs built into the wood. Like it looks like somebody's I would say maybe 10 or 20 sets of them. It looks like a number of people are supposed to be like cuffed down on this thing, but you don't see anybody there right now.
Yep.
Hey, what do you want to do? Keep looking?
No. I am going to touch my ear. Let's see here. I'm gonna fly up really quickly in the air, quietly. And as I'm out of earshot, I'm just gonna whisper into my earpiece, "Hey, wait, who has this? Who's still on this?
This is Catrax Eversing.
Hey, hey, Doc, it's your friend Vion.
Please be quiet. I'm trying to talk to my friend, young criminal. Yes, you were saying.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, great.
Who are you talking to? You're talking to what are you? You touched? What is going on?
You'll understand when you're older. Yes.
Oh, you're doing like an age thing then. That's great. You're infantilizing him. I like that. So listen, I'm following a hunch real quick. This might be a very complicated situation. Give me 30 seconds before you do anything. Yeah.
Benny!
And I quietly fly down, and I'm using all my powers. I feel like this is like my last episode. I know it's not, but a part of me, the way I'm blasting through this, I'm just like, I have a feeling in my heart that I'm not going to be here next week.
Yo, we are about Vion right now. Go and don't say these things.
Wow, that was startling.
Maybe that's just a comment about how worried I am when I'm firing on all cylinders, which is a product of our capitalist society. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna postcog that arena, this setup. I'm not broadcasting, just to me. I would like to postcog.
How far back are you trying to postcog?
Not that far, like last night.
Last night.
Yeah, last night. Oh wait.
Okay.
Yeah, last night. Yeah, let's go last night.
So last night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, when are you doing it?
Let's go last night.
All right. I'm not clear here. Okay, no. Give me a postcog roll.
Right. This is
Your
4
postcog is
roll.
still at 4. Okay.
Wow. Okay. 4. Great. 9. It's not the best I can do, but it's close.
Okay. You disappear into your little dreamy postcog vision. And for 9, what do you see? You see an old man. I'd say he's played by Willem Dafoe. And he is wearing, jeans and cowboy boots and kind of a, denim jacket. And he's holding a staff with a golden skull at the top of it. And he is facing out, standing on the altar, and he's facing out, and in front of him is just a kind of a sea of skeleton cowboys. And he says, tomorrow night, our enemies will come, and we will be ready. They will not disrupt the sacrifice. And the skeleton cowboys kind of, like murmur amongst themselves, and a couple of like the regular cowboys sort of cheer, throw their hands, yeehaw, throw their hats up in the air, and then phew, it ends.
Great. Okay, I got everything I needed. Okay, one of the cowboys that, like, one of the non-skeletons, we'll call them, that went yeehaw. Did I recognize any of those sleepy boys in one of the tents?
Yeah, it's generally the same bunch.
Great. So this is a little. I'm gonna do two things really quickly. One, I'm gonna quietly float up. I'm gonna float back to the sheriff. Turn uninvisible for 1 second, and I'm gonna say,
You float back to
Oh,
the
no.
entrance where you left the sheriff.
"He ain't there."
and He ain't there.
Well, okay. Let me go look for him. I'll do a quick sweep. Do I see him? If not, then I'll operate on my own plan.
Give me an investigation roll.
Oh no, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Come back. Come back to me.
You've lost it already?
That's what you're rolling to find out.
This dice is now named Sheriff. Here you go. Here we go. Here we go. What are you?
That's actually
2.
very cute.
That's gonna be a 9.
A 9.
Yeah.
You don't see him in visual range of where you are right now.
Okay, well, shoot. This is gonna get really interesting then. Okay, I'm gonna quietly fly back down to one of the sleepy boys sleeping in one of the tents. I'm going to land. I'm still phased. I'm gonna phase through the tent, and I'm gonna turn off flight.
Okay.
I'm gonna
You
turn on teleportation.
Give me a roll.
A plus
sorry.
roll.
Whoa,
13.
okay. I need a new die.
plus 5.
That went flying. Sorry. You're
I
turning
believe.
on teleportation. Big magic or little?
Oh gosh, I should be keeping.
Which
track
one were
of
you
it.
using flight for? You were using.
I believe
flight
that was big magic.
big magic because I said as
helicopter.
fast as a helicopter, and that's 5.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
6, I believe, because I boosted it. Nope, big magic according to my sheet 7. But I'm gonna turn it on at
Magic
4. I'm
is
gonna turn it on 4.
7?
Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, that was my bad. I
Oh, don't worry. I didn't want to do that much flight. It's all good.
I looked at the wrong column on your thing. I'm sorry. So you are turning on teleportation with
4.
big magic now.
Yeah. put on
You
big
want it?
magic.
You want it at level 4?
I just want to make
or-
sure it's successful. Yeah.
Okay. So what'd you get?
So this is 7 plus roll. That's 11.
All right. You've got level 4 teleportation.
Great. I whisper, "Hey, wake up!"
And it-
And I teleport him to the top of the ridge.
and bamf, the two of you disappear.
Great.
While that is going on, Kadrax, Benny, you are positioned right outside the town when the first wave of skeleton cowboys arrives. I will say minion combat rules are in effect, and they start shooting at you as soon as you are in their sight. Okay. Give
Are we
me
still
an
in the
initiative.
30 seconds of Vion's request to hold?
Yeah, I suppose you are, since this is happening basically at the same time.
Shoot. All right.
So, roll initiative.
11.
6.
All right, so it'll be Kadrax, and then the Skeleton Cowboys, and then Benny. Kadrax, are you doing anything with your first turn?
I won't do that. That's too mean. So no, I hold my action.
Okay. The Skeleton Cowboys start firing.
Face.
Okay.
I
Okay.
hold my
okay.
own.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You do.
So
You
actually, I'll take a trouble for that. If that's
Okay,
all right.
yeah, that works.
Give
That
it your
totally
dice.
works.
Nice.
Kadrax, I think that gives you 2 determination because I had
That
you
is
with one
correct
left over
because
from last
I
week.
also last week was not from around here,
Right.
and I'm calling. This is my second week in a row I've called troubles.
This is, oh my
Be
gosh.
proud of me, please, Caitlin.
Yes, I'm so proud of you. This
you.
is 2 episodes late. I meant to ask you Rick, when I fell through the sky and you said fire that's closest kept, does that mean I get one, or is that for flavor?
No, that doesn't act as a trouble. It actually
I just wanted
saved
to
your
make
life.
that's fair. I
So
just
it's
wanted to make sure, because if you call it, usually I do. I just wanted to make sure. Cool, awesome.
yeah. It's got to operate as a trouble for
Excellent.
you to do that. But since it
Excellent.
helped you, but I like I like that you're paying attention. So the skeleton cowboys just unleash firing on the lava giant.
Good luck.
And let's see. So they are armed with rifles and sidearms. Benny, give me a coordination roll.
Don't most humanoids have arms at their side? I don't get it.
That's a 10.
10.
Max roll.
Not while I'm drinking water, Sam, please.
Yes, while you're drinking water,
So-
my friend.
These skeleton cowboys, which are powered by magic, are
Yeah,
all
yeah.
business, and that is a
Yes.
major success for them.
Cool.
So between all of them
my God.
firing at you right now,
I cannot roll higher than that.
You got to cast.
I got a 6, so they are operating at maximum at this moment.
No, I'm saying that was a max roll for my defense. That was I can't roll higher than that.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to roll well while they roll badly,
Mhm.
or you're going to have to beat them before they beat you.
Mhm.
But I'm going to say, 10, Benny, that is going to cost you 3 stamina.
None.
No, 3 stamina after it
Oh,
absorbs.
after. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. My stamina just went up because I added to my willpower.
Yes, that's right. Your stamina is up to 13. I have
12 points of damage. 14.
Yeah, well, there's a whole army shooting at you.
No, I know. It's
yeah.
14 because my strength went up when we got our gym pass too. So it's.
Oh, was it? Okay, then you have 11. Oh, that's weird. I put it up to 13. Oh, maybe I forgot to adjust it on this sheet. I only adjusted it on yours. Okay, gotcha. All right, I'll fix that for next week. So yeah, you are down to 11 right now.
Mhm.
That brings up Benny. You want to do anything?
I looked at Cadrax because did you tell me to stop? Yeah, you yelled my name.
Cut, I was yelling, so I assumed that like in the intercut, I was
So-
letting you know.
They've asked me to pause, so I'm going to use stretch and my big form to basically like kind of drop down and like become just full liquid, but like be like a barricade and stretch out as far as I can on the ground.
Be the barricade. Be the
Mhm.
barricade.
Hold the line, etc., etc.
Perfect. And while this is going on, Vion, Bamf, you appear right where the sheriff was with this kidnapped cowboy who is kind of, shaken out of his sleep. What, tarnation?
And I turn off my invisibility really quickly, and I'm still phased.
Oh my God. Are you one of them ghosts?
No, you cover your mouth right now until I say that you can uncover your mouth. You understand that? You nod. That's it right there. I am the spirit of justice. I wander through the West, and I make sure that all good things are happening. Okay? Do you understand? Again, you nod.
Vion, make a willpower roll.
Oh my God. 10. Can I do performance?
You can, but you're not going to need it with 10.
Oh, 11.
This guy's not of great willpower, so he's just I understand.
All right. Invisibility. Oh my gosh, there's some stuff I could do. I want you to think real hard right now about who you are as a person. I would like to cast telepathy and with big magic, and I would like to read his name.
Give me a roll to turn on telepathy.
8 plus roll. That's
What
a
do you-
5 plus 8, 13.
You going for the full 7?
Let's go for the full 7. I need to get this information from him.
If you're going for the full 7, you do not get it.
Are we metagaming right now? Can I drop down?
No, we are not.
Okay, you know what? That's a
You
bug.
try to read his mind, but
Yeah.
he's just, nothing happens.
He's scared, that's right.
he-
What I do is I wander around and I choose the best folks. It might not be the folks that they would expect, but it's the best folks to assist with the spirit of justice. And that right now, sir, is you. I need you to tell me what sort of unnatural activities are going on right down there. Now that's fantastic. You can take your hand off as long as you whisper. And also, I'm sorry, and I'm gonna like I'll unphase and reach out my hand to help him up. I want to get you. You don't have to be down in the dirt like that. Come on, you're helping the spirit of justice. Dust yourself off. Treat yourself with some respect. Come on, stand proud. Come on.
Eli's got weird magic powers, and he conjured up this crazy skeleton army that he's going to march on the town. I think they're going to burn the whole place to the ground. He's real angry about them taking his son. He also real angry about his son getting captured. I don't know what's going to happen to Jesse. But you know, that's what they're doing. He's making some kind of sacrifice tonight that's supposed to like increase his power. I don't know. He don't tell me a lot, but just what I hear.
I'm gonna ask you one last question, but I want you to know you're doing a fantastic job.
Well, thank you.
And I'm gonna I'll do that afterwards. I'm not gonna give him positive affirmation until I get everything I want. Learned it from my mom, not in real life. That's the character. My mom is a very lovely woman. This is just beyond fantastic.
This has been Disturbing Therapy Corner with Omar Najam.
Is he turning real life folks into these skeletons?
No, he conjures them somehow.
I put my finger to my earpiece. Hey, Doc, you can kill him. I was wrong. And I turn back.
Benny!
That's the doctor I was talking to, the spirit of medicine. I'm the spirit of justice. That's the spirit of medicine. Great. And I take the flower from my lapel that I had, and I want to just tuck it into his pocket. You, sir, what's your name again?
Cooper?
Cooper? You need to be mighty proud of yourself right now. Is there a place you can go that's safe?
He kind of looks down to the tent city and, then back out to the desert, and he's like,
All right. I don't think down there is going to be safe. I want you to wander in the direction of the near civilization that you can go that is safe, where you're not going to get hurt. I want you to write down this name. It's one name, okay? Moybridge. Next year, something incredible is about to happen. They're going to invent something called the moving picture. You understand that, Cooper?
Is that Moybridge with a Y or with an O-I?
That is with a Y. That's a great question. That's a good thing to specify. This is up in Northern California, over by San Francisco. In fact, I think it's Palo Alto. Now, together.
Yes, sir, Mr. Ghost, sir.
He and Stanford are going to invent what's called the moving picture of sorts. Edison might take credit for it, but Edison can go fuck himself. So listen, you go ahead and you start investing in these machines. This is the future right here. This is art, because the thing about this is that it's going to make ghosts of itself. It's going to make ghosts out of light. And you can get in on this, all right? That is my advice to you. I'm speaking to you from the future. Cooper, you're fantastic. I will see you later. And I'm going to go ahead and cast flight back on myself.
All right, you go to cast flight on yourself, and that brings up Cadrax back at Grave Glen. It is your turn to attack. What do you want to do?
I have been unleashed. We're going to burst at range into the skellies.
Okay, give me a blast roll.
All right,
which is coordination.
It's a blast into the past. Oh, hey, max die. We love it. Much better. So let's see. That's plus.
Wait, I do need to acknowledge the $500.69 because you guys are the best.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Thank you so much, everybody. Oh, wow.
Nice.
Oh,
nice.
Yes. Yeah, nice. I mean, and just, thank you so much for such a worthy cause. Thank you, everyone, for turning out tonight and sticking with us through all of our technical shenanigans. So thank you.
This is why Ulez is rebooting right now. This is what happened. It got them too.
It's getting everything tonight.
So it's not
yeah.
getting my dice though. That is a total of oh, sorry, that was more than I thought. 15.
15.
Yes.
Cadrax, that gives you a moderate success. And moderate success for your blast. What's your blast at? It's
9.
9. Okay. You fire your blast off, and a whole bunch of those skeletons just get hit. You're firing from the air in a blast pattern with minion combat rules in effect. And you see a whole bunch of bones just go flying. A couple of those skeletons fall right off the horses, and the horses just continue to gallop on into the desert.
Does burst mean it affects multiple minion groups in minion combat? Or does burst not get you an extra in minion combat?
My gosh.
Burst means it affects multiple minion groups. So you hit like a wide range of them.
Thank you.
And a whole bunch of them going to lose some stamina. And a whole bunch of them also lost their horses. And that brings up the skeleton cowboys. A whole bunch of them kind of stop. They see, the lava wall in front of them, and they kind of, pull to a halt. And they all pull out their guns and start firing at that lava wall. Benny, give me a coordination roll.
That's real bad. That's not great. That's a 7.
That's a 7. I'm gonna point out you have 3 points of community determination if you want to use any of them.
That was a really low roll, though. I don't know
If you add 2 to that, well, you could either re-roll, you spend a point of determination, or you can add.
What
2
was the number on the die?
3.
Okay, then reroll is not the play. If anything, you would add +2. If it's ever worth, I think the community determination is probably worth, given that these are some minions.
Okay.
It means that a 9 goes farther than it otherwise would.
Okay. And that puts me near my max anyways, so hopefully
Right, exactly, because it'd be as if you had rolled a 5.
Okay. Let's do stubborn as a mule. I'm not moving.
Yeah, that works.
+2 to put me at 9.
All right,
And
so
hope for the best.
that is just a marginal success for them. So
Thank you.
you are sort of pelted with a whole bunch of fire. You can kind of feel it. It kind of like hurts a little bit,
Mhm.
but you don't really take any damage from it. And that brings us back out to the desert. Vion, what are you doing?
I'm now flying down, looking for the sheriff.
All right, give me an investigation roll.
Great. The 7 plus roll 9. Wow, not great.
9.
I mean, so good.
Yes, yeah, the power of rhetoric. Yeah,
Positive thinking.
Yes, it's all about the spin.
If you
Positive
I do not
self-talking.
control the tone of voice when I deliver a roll so as to impact the game master.
Yeah, it's like Sam's. Yes, I rolled a 1. Woohoo!
Okay, that is real, and it's because it's a 1. But moving on.
So yeah, you said 9. Okay, you go zipping up and down the aisles, and you spot along the side of one of the tents Virgil Wheeler kind of moving slowly, and he kind of stands next to a tent, and you spot him as, he sort of like looks back and forth, makes nobody's watching, and then he like kind of moves to the next tent, 6-gun drawn, headed towards what looks like the far rock wall.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and cast invisibility on him.
Are you from where you are, or are you going over it? What are you doing?
From where I am, really quickly.
Okay. What are you using? Big magic or little magic?
I'll use little magic for this.
So that turns off. What were you doing with your little magic before?
Let me ask my intern. No, what was I using it for? I think
You had teleportation and invisibility.
Yeah, I turned off. I already had invisibility going.
You dropped 1 for the mind read. You dropped big magic for the mind read, and as I recall, that before it was mind read, it was teleport, because you said, "I really want this to work."
Yep.
Right.
Yep. So I didn't get the mind read, which was big magic, which means that invisibility is still on. I can instantly throw that on the sheriff.
Okay. He turns invisible, and
Right.
you cannot see how he's reacting because he's invisible.
Yeah. I'm still flying. I'm a phase. Doesn't make me invisible.
Wait, so you were using which magic for flight? I guess little
Big
magic?
magic.
Big magic.
Yeah.
Okay. So you phase through what?
I mean, I'm phased in general.
Oh, you're just phasing in general.
the
Okay,
ghost.
sure.
And so I kind of like fly up to where he was last, and I just kind of whisper, "Sheriff, just so you know, you're invisible."
You doing this?
Yeah, that's me.
All right. It's like, you see what's going on back there? And like,
No.
you look up towards the back, and you
Mhm.
can see on that altar right now, there are a bunch of those skeleton cowboys, and they are pulling people out from a space beneath the stage and cuffing them to the stage. And standing behind them, there is that guy you saw before with the big staff with the gold skull on top of it. And Virgil says, "That there's Eli. Tell you what, I'm going to get Eli's attention. While I got him distracted, you free those people and get them on out of here."
Okay. If that's the plan that you want to do, you're invisible right now, so we can go complete stealth. But this is your call.
You got a better plan?
I mean, we can always create a different distraction, and it's just odd. I don't know what happens from here on out. I don't know what happens to both of us after this. So,
Well, what kind of distraction would you like to create?
I can do a bunch of stuff. I could blast one of those rocks over there. I can and Beyond is just like laughing and realizes he has to be really quiet. Yeah, I might have something that's going to distract them. And I am going to okay. He's got invisibility on at little magic. I've got flight on at big magic. Little magic has burst. Got it. Okay, I'm turning off flight and I land on the ground.
Okay.
Sheriff, you're still invisible, but you won't be for long. Is there anything you want to do before I turn that off?
Well, what is the plan here?
Oh, see, the thing is, I like to be dramatic, so I don't usually tell the entire plan until I start doing it.
Well, how am I supposed to help with the plan or know if I want to do anything unless you tell me what the plan is?
Okay, I'm going to create a distraction. I'm going to have a little bit of ruckus in the camp occur. And then I'm going to start teleporting. I'm going to start yanking those people from their where they're stuck and start popping them somewhere safe using magic. You might have to take on our big bad over there if his focus isn't taken out. But I will make sure that these people are safely relocated.
I will keep an eye on Eli.
Great. Okay, great. So keeping track of this. I know my plan. I'm dropping flight. I take off invisibility. I've got my big magic and my little magic available. I am going to really quickly, just so I'm prepared, so I have this good to go, fresh out of the gate. See, I'm not playing. Sam's not in the scene, so I have to do it all on my own. It's hard. So I'm going to turn on teleportation, little magic.
Give me a roll to turn it on.
A+ roll, that's 13. That's 8+5.
Oh, yeah, easy. You got it.
Great. Teleportation's on. I will be using that at burst. Now I am going to use big magic to cast. Let me just make sure, because there's two of them and they're slightly different from one another. I'm going to cast images.
Okay. How do you want it at the full 7?
No, I don't need it that big. I want to make sure I get it right. I'm going to cast it at, let's say 5.
Okay.
Okay. To turn it on, that's going to be 11 to turn on.
Ooh. Okay. I will give that to you. It is
okay.
It's a tie, but
this is getting stressed. Okay. And now I can just cast it, right?
yeah, images just work unless somebody has a reason not to believe them.
I kind of just like focus over the star that is pinned to my vest. I'm just like, please let this be right, because this is a very non-violent answer to the situation. And I was recently in a camp where people were being held. It wasn't necessarily on this planet. It was a different planet. And what we did is we cast a really big creature that was running around and keeping everyone mighty distracted. I think that creature might be doubly distracting here because I've never seen anything like it. I want a big Lorcan.
Oh, the
Release
Lorgen?
Yep, the Lorgen. I want a big ol' Lorgen. running through the
Okay.
camp.
Wow. I love this callback. Yeah. Okay. And suddenly this gigantic sort of, vicious, gigantic, blue squirrel thing,
Yeah.
just sort of
crystalline creature.
starts just tearing through the camp, like towards first towards
Yep.
the altar, and it gets to the altar, and there are just all these cowboys and skeleton cowboys standing there who see it, and you just hear like, what in tarnation, what the heck? And they're all surprised as the Lorgen starts to just like dive through the crowd, and like they start pulling out guns and like shooting at the Lorgen. Some of them hit each other, with it, like there's just bullets flying everywhere.
While
They're all
that's
trying to,
all, while that's all happening, I just want to say really quickly, and I know that this is so irresponsible, but I quickly take one picture of that all happening on my phone, and then I turn around and I take a quick selfie of it, and I'm just like, I'm sending this to Destiny. I am sending this to Destiny, and I'm giving no context. And I quickly put my phone away, and I'm gonna get ready to start teleporting people out of there.
all right, it will take 150 years to get to Destiny, but you teleport yourself where? To the stage?
Oh, I'm
sorry,
I'm
the
not teleporting myself. I'm gonna sneak over close enough. I mean, it should work. If I'm in visual range, I believe I'm gonna start teleporting the folks out of their restraints, the people who are being prepared for the sacrifice, and I can burst this. So I'm just gonna teleport chunks of them back over to the ridge.
Okay, to make that teleportation,
Teleporting chunks of them makes me so nervous.
Sorry
Just
about that.
phrasing. I'm like,
Yeah.
It's a transporter accident waiting to happen.
Let's not call that.
You have to make a teleportation roll. Failure means they arrive at their destination stunned. So
That's fine.
that's fine for you. So give me I'll say there are 15 or 20 of these people. Give me a teleportation roll for the first one.
Okay.
No, wait. You have burst on this?
Yep,
Wait, no. This is
burst.
big
Little
magic.
magic. No, this is little magic. I got burst.
Is it little magic?
Yep.
Oh, because you're using image for the big magic.
Yep.
Okay. So give me the roll for, let's say, the first 5.
Okay. 6. 3 + 3.
All right. You start teleporting that first bunch away. Meanwhile, back in the town, Benny, it is, I think, no, wait. Yes, it is Benny's attack.
I've been given the A-OK. I would like to form myself at least mostly humanoid again.
Yeah,
and
and
I'm
you
a
do?
kickboxer, and I am very big. I would like to do just like a big lava leg sweep. In this like
Sweep the leg, Benny.
Sweep the leg.
Wow, I love this. Okay, Benny, give me a prowess roll.
Yeah, buddy. Okay.
I'm horsing around. My goodness.
Okay, I have new math to do now, so hold on. That's
New math. Oh no.
new math. Here we go.
New math. How much
Oh,
is
that
this?
landed on its corner. Wasn't even a number. Here we go. Try again.
On its corner.
It was like upside down or on the whatever tilted. That's a 15.
Okay, that is going to. That'll be a major success.
Yeah. Okay, so when I'm big, I get an extra point to my strength, which I believe increases my damage. Correct?
Yes.
So that will be for damage. That's gonna be a 17.
Wow. At a major success, that 17, just you kind of do this stunning kick through like the whole like front line of skeleton cowboys, and just each one of them, as you're as your stretched lava leg hits them, they just shatter into like 1,000 pieces, like the bones almost melting from the lava heat. And you just take out, I'll say like that whole front line of skeleton cowboys. And that brings up Kadrax. We're going to go a little bit over here, but not by much.
Not if I can help it, no.
Well, how are you going to help it?
Ooh. I'll help it for a, let's see, 14.
That's a blast?
Does another 14 group blast help? Yes.
Yeah, that is a moderate success.
We take these. So that puts another 9
what-
into a whole bunch of minion groups once more.
Okay, your blast, right. What is your blast at? It's at 9. So 9 at a moderate success. With that blast, a whole bunch of the ones you hit before just shatter into 1,000 pieces. And one of the lines quite beyond them takes a first wave of damage.
It seems
Meanwhile,
like your great escape is going very well.
back at the camp, Vion, you are teleporting some of these people off of the stage when you hear Eli start yelling to some of his cowboys and skeletons, "It's just a mirage! It's not real! It's just a mirage! I can smell the magic!" And he starts pointing his little skull staff around and sort of seems to be kind of like looking into the dark and kind of looks right at your location, right towards you. And he's like, "There! That's the one! Get him!" And some of the skeletons start to turn to face you.
Okay.
And as they do, from behind Eli, Virgil just jumps on him and like punches him, and they, go rolling across the altar together. What do you do?
I'm phased. Which is to say, I'm unfazed. And so I am just gonna
Nicely
do
done.
Thank you very much. Again, Sam's not in the scene, so I got to do it, and it's hard.
Right, and it's becoming amazing, and I need to apparently not be in any scenes just for this.
No, please. I'm so tired. I have 3 levels of exhaustion from trying to be as brilliant as Sam Delev right now. It's very difficult. I'm going to teleport the second group of 5.
All right, give me teleportation roll.
3 plus pumpkin. That's 9.
And bamf, they
They're
all
awake.
disappear off the
Great.
stage.
We got 5
Meanwhile,
more.
back in Grave Glen, it is the skeleton's turn, and they fire at Kadrax up in the air.
Oh no.
Kadrax, give me
Interpose.
a coordination roll.
okay.
Oh, Benny, you're going to interpose?
Yeah, I'm big. I can just.
Benny, give me
You
a
don't have to.
coordination.
You don't have to. I'm okay.
Are you sure?
The oh no was not for me because I can still take reflection rolls on this.
That's true. I forget.
and
I
two,
forget you have reflection. You're good. I forget that.
before
I'm
my defense. The
I was
no
like,
is absolutely for this child who is being
That's
shot
fair.
at alongside me.
That's fair. I always like in my head. I'm like, I'm always like, gotta protect Ulez. Ulez is a cactus right now. So okay, if you want to take it, okay.
Oh no. I haven't rolled the dice yet. I said the thing and then I realized I'm obligated to protect him from death. Crap.
Kadrax, if you are protecting him from death, I will give you a point of coordination for upholding your oath.
Yes, I
Sorry,
will
a point
take...
of determination, not coordination. Sorry, my brain's going in 6 directions at once.
I will take that and I will turn my back to the incoming fire so he is facing away from it.
And you take the brunt of that fire. Oh, you're very lucky. Kadrax, you lose 4 stamina.
Very lucky. I'm down to 6.
Yeah, that's a lot of guns. So that could have been serious.
We're taking them out though. We're working on it.
Meanwhile, back at the back at Tell Canyon at Eli's camp. Vion, there is one more group of people on the stage. You can see Virgil. He's got his hands around that staff, and him and Eli are kind of like pulling the staff like back and forth, like Virgil's trying to get it away from him. You got 5 more people to teleport.
I got to do it. I want to help the sheriff, but after our talk, we both came into this knowing the stakes. Those folks didn't sign up for this, so let's teleport them and then deal with the rest.
Give me a teleportation roll.
Okay, here we go. 3 + 5. Close enough. 8.
8. Okay, those people are going to be a little groggy where they get there going, but they disappear. Meanwhile, Benny, it is your attack back in Grave Glen.
Okay, same thing. I'm gonna just fist sweep across the whole crowd of them again. Hit as many as I can.
Give me a prowess roll.
Oof, that's not great, but it's still okay. 13.
Okay, that's a moderate success. And what did we say you dealt? How much damage? 17
With the
before?
+1, it's 17. Yeah.
17. So moderate success. Okay. All of the ones that Cadrax hit with their blast, that the second row that didn't disintegrate but got damaged, you just cut through them like butter, and like they just all go down.
How like what percentage wise? How far through the horde are we?
I would say at this point you are. There are probably like maybe 20, 25 of them left.
Cool.
The vast majority, let's say it started off, it was like 100.
Yeah.
I probably should have been more specific in the beginning, but you have gotten
I got you.
Yeah, the front line is just very thin now, and some of them are clearly already damaged from your kick and Cadrax's blast. Vion, as soon as you bamf away that other group, you look at the stage, and you see Virgil is wrestling with Eli, and you can hear you can kind of hear them kind of tough guy talking at each other, and Virgil's like, "You wanted me here, you got me," and Eli's like, "It's over, you're surrounded," and then Virgil's like, "No, it's over for you," and he kind of like elbows him in the throat, and he gets the staff away, and he takes the staff and he smashes it on the ground, and the head of the staff breaks off. And when it does, there's just this huge like kind of discharge, like almost like a fireball, but kind of magical and weird and glowy, and it doesn't dissipate immediately. The fireball just kind of hangs in the air and engulfs the two of them. Whatever magic it is just kind of burns for a good 10 seconds or so, and then it stops and disappears. And when it does, all of the skeleton cowboys, including the ones left in Grave Glen, just collapse into piles of bones. And you see Virgil and Eli laying on the altar together, neither moving.
I run up to the sheriff as quickly as humanly possible.
Yeah, you get up there. You can see Eli is just burned beyond recognition, just kind of charred corpse. Virgil is burned also, but not as badly. And he's kind of gasping a little bit.
Okay. Okay. Hey, you did it. You knocked them all out. We're gonna get you to the dock. For this time period, they're absolutely incredible. They can do stuff that you would not believe. Okay, I'm gonna teleport us over there. All right.
And he can't. You just hear like.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to cast. I can. I'm going to cast flight on both of us.
Okay.
And and I'll do that with little magic. So it's burst. It's not as fast as it could be.
Give me a roll.
Okay, great. Oh, my teleportation. No, we'll fly.
Either way,
3 and 3 is 6.
It's a tie. Beyond, you are so sort of overwhelmed by emotion at the moment, you can't get flight working. You try drawing the rune, but
Yeah.
like you just can't concentrate, and it comes out misshapen.
Okay.
And
I have something's going on. Weird magic stuff happened. I just need him to stay alert for a little bit. And I have images already up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call up the book with him in it and just tell him, hey, listen, this might not make sense. I'm not from this time. I'm from a different time, Sheriff. And I know a version of you, or not you, or something that we were talking about legacies. And this is it, man. Look at it. Look, this is a history book with you in it. You did it. No matter what happens, you did it. Exactly what you said. It's published, and no one knows what happens to you afterwards. But you made history, man. Okay, so just hold on a little bit. I'm gonna call the doc. They fly a lot faster than I can because I can't do it right now. Hey, Doc, I need you over here at the canyon. I don't know what you're up to right now, but the skeleton should be taken care of. I got a man down.
On my way.
And Kadrax, you go blasting through the desert towards the source of that transmission. Theon, you think you catch maybe a hint of a smile on Virgil's face when you talk about history and legacy and stuff like that. And he kind of pulls at you a little bit close to him, and he says, I'm all right with it. As you see the light go out in his eyes.
Okay. All right, man. I don't close those eyes.
Kadrax arrives in time to help you carry Virgil's body back to the town.
Oh, jeez. What is? I know we're trying to wrap, but like, that means Jesse sees his father as well.
Well, where did you put Jesse before you
I
left? You
brought
took him with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't make any arrangements for his security, so flying right over
Yeah.
means bringing him with me.
Jesse, as you bring him down and he sees his father dead, and he looks at Virgil next to him, and he's like, and he looks at Virgil and he's like, I told you my daddy was going to kill you and get me out.
I turn to him, and I think before I would have had a problem with anger, but the sheriff said he was good with it. I turn to Jesse. Every single day of your goddamn life, you get to make a decision of what you're going to do. Every, 24 hours or whatever, okay? And right now, you're probably upset because the guy who was going to bust you out of prison, right now, he failed. The entire plan, he failed. He wasn't good enough for us. He couldn't beat us. He couldn't beat the sheriff. He was going to sacrifice people. That was his decision, and he failed, and these are the consequences of his actions. So right now, you're probably going to go back to prison. You're going to have to make a decision. Maybe next day you break out. Maybe you rob another bank or something like that. You keep doing that, you can end up like your old man right here. Or you can do something different. It's not up to me. It's your choice, just so you know. I'm sorry about your dad. And I'll nod to the dock and cast light on myself so I can join you.
You take him back with you?
Absolutely. We will eventually have to contact whatever happens next. Are there nearby law things? I'm not familiar with how the other coast works, but that is not my purview.
We can
Well-
ask Abner or something.
As you are getting back to town, the sun is coming back up. And things have calmed down a little bit in Grave Glen. And those
I'm a
homestead.
person again. I'm not, after all the, I would like to not scare the locals.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, now you've had plenty of time. You are changed back. And yeah, those homesteaders have made their way towards the town. And 15 of them are kind of, starting to congregate in that main street. And Abner, comes up to you and he sees Virgil's body. And he's just like, takes off his hat. And he lowers his head and he says, I'll make sure he's buried right. And then he sees Jesse and he says, I'll make sure I'll make sure he's handled right too. And he says, in fact, I think a deputy rode in with those homesteaders. And he calls, he's like, hey, and he kind of points into the crowd and he's like, you the lawman, right? And one of them steps forward. He's kind of a young, friendly-faced man. Say he's played by Grant Gustin from The Flash. And Abner's like, and he says, he's like, yeah, I'm the deputy. I was guarding these homesteaders, and I guess not doing the greatest job of it. But there were a lot of those cowboys, the weird skeleton types, and Abner's like, don't you worry about that now. Just slap some cuffs on this man. And he's like, yeah. And he starts cuffing Jesse, and he turns to you, Vion, and he's like, hey, I want to thank you for saving all these people and me. It was my responsibility for getting them here, so it was my responsibility for getting them captured. But looks like little harm done thanks to you. So I owe you, man. I owe you big time. If you ever need anything at all, you come find me. I'm going to be right here. Maybe start a family someday. And when I do, my family is your family. You always got a place to stay in Grave Glen, my friend. And he kind of extends his hand to you and he says, name's Maynard. Maynard Bendiction.
I'm sorry, what was that again?
Maynard Bendiction with an X.
It's an absolute pleasure to meet you. Thank you very much, sir.
Oh, thank you, sir. He kind of tips his hat to you.
I'm sorry. Real quick, Maynard, before you go, one quick thing. I have this strange, peculiar device. It's from the East Coast. Doesn't make a lot of sense out here. It'll become popular, I don't know, a couple years. Do you mind if I quickly just it's similar to the daguerreotype that we have up in the tavern, and I would, with my phone, I would like to just take a selfie with Maynard to send to Destiny later.
And yeah, he's like, what do I do? I look at this little box thing here.
Yeah, the strange little box that's got a mirror. It's got a little mirror on the front. Yeah, well, it's got a mirror. Yeah, it's there. Yeah. When you wave, it waves back. It's a mirror. It's as far as we'll take this and take. Don't
that beat all? And you get a picture of yourself and a very stunned-looking Maynard Bendiction.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And anything else you want to do here in Grave Glen?
Yeah. Actually, yeah, let's do this. If you don't, Doc, Ben, if you don't mind coming with me real quickly.
Yeah, anywhere.
And we'll go in the saloon where the picture is up already. Is it framed and hung up, Rick?
No, I think it's probably still developing, and those like silver plates have to set or something.
I go to the saloon keep, and I ask, hey, where are you going to put that picture up, by the way?
I'm thinking about starting a photo wall right over there, and he kind of points to that wall where it was. Yeah,
you're going to revolutionize the space, man. That's incredible. That's really something else.
Well, they say innovation is the key to success in this business.
That's not a bad point at all. That's true. I'm gonna give you a tip, if that's all right, really quickly, in exchange for a favor, if that's all right with you. Real quick one.
Well, what's the tip?
The tip would be, these pictures, and the series of pictures like a gallery wall, but you can kind of flip through them. Folks might make something called a mutoscope, like a wheel of pictures, like a gallery wall, but a wheel, a succession of pictures. You crank and you get to look in. If a company ever comes up with that term mutoscope, you invest some money into that. That's going to be a pretty big thing for a little bit.
Mutoscope. Okay.
Yeah. That'll be the craze for a little bit. So you check that out. Actually, Mutoscope actually might be around right now, but that's fine. That's the advice I'll give him. And
That's
Certainly a
Nickelodeon,
test as to whether the future is immutable.
and Nickelodeons. Keep an eye out for that term. Nickelodeons are popping up.
Nick-
You put some cash in there.
Yeah, and he's Nickel Noodle
Yeah,
Scopelodian.
And you know what? I'm sorry. This real quick, this last one, and then this will be the exchange for the favor. And this one maybe is a little bit favor you, but I'm sure that they'll pay you back. A couple years from now, and pass this message down. I remember the exact date of it. I need you to find, I think, a brother and a father team called the Latham Boys, and tell them, just get the message out to them. A loop. Your solution is a loop. Because the film gets stuck and it starts to get cranked in the camera. When you add a little loop in it, you're able to process film at a 19 frames per second, sometimes 23.9 frames per second speed, which is what you want. That might not make a little sense to you, but trust me, they will pay you back in dividends if you can get that information to them in Los Angeles.
And he looks at you and he's like, son, you get kicked in the head by a mule or something?
I fought a bunch of skeletons, so pretty similar. Anyway, thank you very much.
Yeah, I write this all down right now.
You laugh, but wackier ideas brought people farther than this. So, and in exchange, if you don't mind, I'm gonna carve something into the wall. You're gonna cover it up anyway in a little bit once you get that photograph back. But just a little something for the sheriff.
Go ahead.
And I carved the words kindness always.
Oh, yeah, you carved that, and it is carved right on the spot where that picture will hang someday. And then you head back out to the street and you go back to the Ulez cactus, and keep things moving. I'm going to say you all join hands. Leon, you take your crystal.
Yep.
Give me a time control roll.
Okay, big magic.
Yeah.
Here we go. Well, regardless.
Caitlin has the crystal. Check that out.
Be careful with that.
It's production values, folks.
Okay, so I don't lie about rules on the show. We're trying to get back, right? Like all I do is I write the time travel rune and then we get back, right, Rick?
You draw the time travel rune. What'd you get?
To get back to Port Ruby. I rolled a 1. So that's a total of 9 to turn on.
And the crystal starts to glow and it gets brighter and brighter and brighter, and then bam, the three of you are just thrown backwards and like you kind of hit like this window. You are standing in a long hallway, and suddenly an alarm sounds and you hear intruder alert, intruder alert, intruder alert coming over and over again through, like a PA system. And you turn and look out the window that you just hit. And it doesn't take you long to figure out where you are, because peeking out over some buildings ahead of you, you can see the sun setting behind the easily identifiable dome of the U.S. Capitol building. And within seconds, you are surrounded by men in dark suits who are all pointing guns. And you are just completely surrounded. And one of them, I'll say he's played by Josh Holloway.
Okay.
He looks at you and he says, well. Looks like we've got us a whole team of spies. And on that, we'll see you next week. Thanks, folks. This one started a little bit rough. Thank you for bearing with us. And thank you so much. $500.69, all going to Equality Texas. That is, honestly, we are so grateful. This charity, Equality Texas, and Trans Texas, there are a couple of other ones that can all use your help and your support now, and are going to need it, for the foreseeable future, unfortunately, because the world is a terrible place and is full of horrible people, but not y'all. Y'all are on the side of the angels, and we super appreciate it. Real quick, let's go around the table, tell the good people where they can find you, starting with Caitlin Bruder.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Bruder. You can find me on Twitter at KKAMABR. That's all where all of my things will be. Yes.
Sam DeLev.
Hello, I am Trans Rights. You can find me on Twitter at Equality Texas, EQUALITY TEXAS. Thank you.
And our ambassador of kindness, Omar Najam.
Hey everybody, I'm Omar Najam. You can find me at Omar Najam on Twitter. Kindness always starts with yourself, and you being yourself. A lot of people don't want that, and so make their lives a living hell, and just enjoy yours and find the joy that you can find. And today, tomorrow, and for the next infinity, trans rights. Trans rights. Are you kidding me? Trans rights. Get wrecked. Get wrecked. I have a lot of comments just because he wants to cover up the fact that he tried to profit off of a failing electricity grid over in Texas. He's going to get in a lot of trouble. I hope he lands in jail, and I hope he burns in hell. Trans rights.
Trans rights, we're about to show you trans wrongs.
And hang on just a second. Yeah. I'm Rick Budd. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at rbud913. Thank you, Omar, for setting the tone with that kindness always. You know, trans rights, kindness always. Those are two things that will go hand in hand here. Once again, because we reread the history, I want to remind everybody that the history of Virgil Wheeler is very, very closely inspired by the history of a real life man named Bass Reeves, who just led an absolutely fascinating life, which is, you know, better than any cowboy movie that you can possibly see. I highly recommend finding a book or even just going to read his Wikipedia entry. It really just stunning stuff. And thank you so much for your generosity tonight. On that, the theater goes dark, and we are in Avalon on Wednesday, September 8th, 2021. It is night, and we are outside Enlightenist headquarters in Ruby Village, the same place Benny first got her crystal necklace back in season 2. A woman, I'll say she's played by Anne Hathaway, walks up the front steps and knocks on the door. And a moment later, it opens, and Althea the Enlightenist, played by the late great Betty White, opens it up, and she smiles warmly and says, "Welcome, welcome. We've been waiting for you. Come in, follow me." And Althea leads the woman down a hallway to a set of stairs. They go down the stairs into a basement and then around a corner where they come out into a space that looks very much like a classroom. There's a chalkboard at the front of the room and about 25 desks, most of which have people sitting at them. And those people are all adults, and they are from every conceivable walk of life. And they all turn to look at Althea as she enters with the woman. And Althea looks at the class and says, "Everybody say hello to," and she looks at the woman tentatively, and the woman says, "Marcy." And in unison, the whole class waves and goes, "Hi, Marcy." And Marcy nods at them and sits at one of the open desks. And Althea says, "You got here just in time, Marcy. I was just about to start." And then Althea walks to the front of the room and says, "Benny Beckett is gone, and so is her team. Port Ruby might as well be defenseless. The time of the Enlightenists has come, and tonight I'm going to tell you what that means and what your role in the events to come will be." And the students kind of exchange uncertain glances, and undaunted Althea says, "Raise your hand if you need a pen and paper, because you're probably going to want to write this down." And as they all nervously start raising their hands, we cut to black. Thanks for playing with us.